Are we ready to rumble?
Listo para rumba.
Hold on. I'm hearing echo, guys. All of a sudden.
Echo. You
Here we
hearing
go.
echo?
I was hearing a little bit of echo, but I think we're ready now.
Is the echo gone?
Our tech team is so on top of everything. Production has got everything under wraps. How have you guys been enjoying the stream so far? From a technical standpoint, from an artistic standpoint, from a beauty standpoint. You're looking fine, Juanito.
Thank you, sir. Same for you.
You're looking
It's a pleasure, amigo,
on
to be here.
point.
Big day.
Big day. It's
Excited.
a saucy day. It's a juicy day. It's a day.
To rise and shine.
It's
baby.
a day. It all comes down to this.
It definitely does. Day 3, main event. The finalists meet each other in the pit to get it.
My butt cheeks are so sweaty right now.
Oh, that's an interesting data point.
Yeah, it's
a word picture.
It's been an intense couple of days, and now I'm just feeling it. I'm all juiced up.
You're ready. You're ready to grind.
I'm ready to do this. I'm excited. I hope again, guys, we're hearing. Yeah, okay. So it's the day of greatness. It's the day of legends. A day like this is when, guys, I keep on hearing. Can you guys figure that out? I keep on hearing echo. All right. Today's the day when legends are born. Days like this, Juanito.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at, man?
No, man, I'm just watching you.
I really hate it
off
when I
the
hear
echo.
I just really hate it when I hear echo.
I don't think people realize what's going through your headset.
Yeah,
but
that I've got this stuff like stuffed in my ear, so when there's echo, it gets pretty brutal. And I'm getting into it. Understand? Like I'm building up, and all of a sudden I hear echo in my ear, and it just kind of kills it.
K-Dude says haircut looking fresh today, Juanito. Yeah, it's a new haircut I'm sporting. Aerodynamic. It helps me, stay fresh in the summer.
You're glowing.
Thank you.
You've got a particular glow today, Juanito.
I've been polishing.
All right.
Catching Man gave me some tips, and I'm just like riffing off of his skincare treatment.
All right. Talking about Catching Man, he's been one of the stars of the show.
Oh yeah, he has.
A star has been born.
We might be
Today,
able to see him
legends
around.
will be born and stars will be born.
Alrighty.
All right, let's do this. Let's jump in, guys. You guys ready? Chat, type 1 if you're ready. If your body's ready. If you're great. If you're ready to presence greatness, type 1. Dayjax is ready. He's ready.
Chat. Type
He wants
1.
greatness to make love to his eyeballs today.
Chat. We've got a great day up ahead of us. Yes, sirree.
The Warriors.
Lad Freak says his glutes are ready.
His glutes is ready. His body's ready. His mind. His heart. He's ready to fall in love with those Warriors.
Yes, sirree. And so are we. This is Collider Craftworks. My name's Juanito. This fine man is Danielito. We're coming to you from Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Yes, sirree.
To bring you a great stream, to bring you a great moment. We're excited to be here. Thank you for coming to hang. Let's jump right in.
All right, let's jump in.
Danny's mother for giving me this amazing skincare. What's the other guy? The baldy guy.
Juanito?
Juanito's got the shine.
Can they get this one done? Charging in, they know they need to.
Destiny gave Debozy a second chance. A second chance for Debozy.
Oh, export flowing. 18 finish in the
From the second boss, that's Sugar Daddy, who has that triple rocket launcher and that cold
one
spread.
in their face with the LMG.
So what was that? Was that a recap?
So that was a recap on day 2.
Came out of nowhere.
That just shot out of nowhere like a bazooka, hitting us from the pit directly. So guys, that was a recap on the intensity, on the energy, on the vibes, and the goodness we all enjoyed from yesterday's stream.
Highlights: Debozy getting community support, requesting a life jacket. That kind of came out of nowhere. Also, the top 3. It's been an interesting tournament. There's been some big surprises. I'm ready for some more surprises. I think you guys are too. All right, so what's next?
Keep it
Juanito?
popping. Let's keep it popping. Tomasetto, these were yesterday's audience winners who took a bag, who went off with 200 USDT for NFT family. Twin sisters had a blast. She won double trouble, 100 plus 300 USDT.
I love
Noxie, Jenny, Rami, Boozdon, D Jackson, Army Yardy. They also went with 50 USDT in hand and in the bag to enjoy for this weekend.
Somebody told me there might even be some saucier surprises
For reals?
for today.
Dude, someone's
We're
gotta pay for all
bringing
this,
the
man.
heat today. We're selling everything. We're selling all our equipment, all our computers, everything we own to make this tournament as good as it can be.
We just love the salsa. The more, the merrier.
Yes. All right.
All right, so
what's-
there's more prizes for today. Is that true? Is that what I'm hearing?
That's what I'm hearing. That's what production is telling me.
Production, is that confirmed? If that's confirmed, then let's show it. Let the people know that today there is 1,500 USDT
Dear Lord.
for you and
Dear
me.
Lord.
Yes, sirree.
All that's going out to the great people in the chat. You guys are making this possible. All right. So how is this going to work?
You want to jump right
What
in?
do they need to do? What do they need to do to earn these incredible prizes?
So to kick things off, we're going to start off with a 200 USDT activity. Who is ready? Chat. Type 1 if you're ready to win 200 USDT. Chat. Type 1.
What do
type
they
one,
need to
type
do?
1, type 1, type 1. First, type 1 to see if they're ready. And
They're
2,
ready.
we'll let them
They're
know
ready.
right
What do
now.
they need to do?
All right. So chat. For 200 USDT, the first person, I repeat, the first person who gets closest to guessing the score of the third place in this first match will win 200 USDT.
I like it. We're
Yes,
mixing it up.
sirree.
Every day you've got to figure it out. There's something different every single day. So you have to figure out the closest score for third place. So if somebody yesterday would have guessed 45,271 and they were the closest, they would have won.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactamente.
Beautiful.
Sí,
I got it.
señor.
All right.
All right, guys. I hope you guys are ready. You can go ahead and type in the chat. The first person who gets closest to guessing the score of the third place in this first match will win 200 USDT. It's time to shine. It's time to go. Go loco in the chat.
Somebody's saying here 45,656, 47,500.
41,462, 49,352, 42,560. Chat is going loco. Chat is going bananas. 46,567, 47K. That's steep. That's a
Yeah.
lot for third place.
That's a lot. Yeah, people know. All right.
All right, guys. We have more surprises.
Yeah. What are we doing?
What's coming up next, Daniel?
I don't know.
All right.
I have no idea.
I have a feeling D. Bozy, speaking of Life Jacket, wants to share some words with us. So let's jump right in. We've got the honor and pleasure of speaking to the man who the people rose to power once again, D. Bozy.
They
who
brought him
won
back to life.
The
There
community
he is,
life jacket.
the iconic
One and only.
Bozy with the sheriff is back in town.
Let's get it, D. Bozy. Give it up for D. Give it up for D. Bozy. Look at that fine-looking gentleman. How's it going, D. Bozy? How we doing? We can see you, but we can't hear you. You're looking fine, though. That's something I want to just shout out to the community. There we go. There we go. Loud and clear.
Now we can hear you.
How you? We're doing fine, man. It's great to see you. How about you?
All right. So
And
you're
the-
just going to put it all on the line. I love it.
And the community
Yeah.
has a champion. The community has spoken and brought a champion to represent them in the finals, D. Bozy himself.
Yeah, I'm glad we actually got to get DeBozy on. You were one of the first people who got to test this way back. How many months ago was that? Was that the first version of the game that we put up?
Over 6 months.
I think it's all at 6 months. Yeah, I remember the first build. Yeah. 6 or 5. Yeah.
Guys, can you chat? Can you guys hear D. Bozy? Now we can.
Yeah.
Some
yeah.
people say they can't hear him. We got him. Yeah,
Yes. Everyone is saying. Yeah,
Okay, so
everyone's saying
D. Bozy, your audio is coming through. So what were you saying, that you're going to give out your NFTs to the whole community?
No.
You wish.
No. Yeah, we were talking about DeBozy being one of the first people, and we were just getting started with the Moshpit. What are your biggest takeaways with this last build? What do you like the most? What are you excited to see in the future?
Well, for like as a starter for the feature, I definitely want to see the game multiplayer, or like
right.
maybe like a co-op version of the game. You know, when you play with your friends and compete against the bots or maybe real players. But my biggest takeaway is, man, I just cannot, like, I don't have enough words to express the feeling that I have, because I remember the first time trying this game when we had a different map, when we had like less bots, different kind of play style. Is you guys just like, I mean, you over delivered as usual, basically. You just, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for that.
You are welcome, sir. You are the reason why we are working hard. I think we're definitely going to go after co-op before trying to go to multiplayer. We're a very small team, so you know, really having a great multiplayer experience is going to be tough. So we're probably going to start off with some co-op. Also, a big one for us is you guys being able to use your NFTs in the game. I think that's also a big priority for us. But yeah, we have a lot of fun things we're working on.
Yes, sir.
All right, Debozy, best of luck, man. Juanito, any last words?
Toda la suerte, Debozy. It's an honor and a pleasure to be with you here today.
All right.
Same. Cheers, guys.
All right, man. What else? Is it time to bring...
So what's coming up next? We're gonna have the voices of the Moshpit Tournament.
They've been killing it.
They sure have. Hail Monkey Man and Bass from the past.
Let's get some love from the chat for our casters. From Bass from the past. From Hell Monkey Man.
That guy's sporting a kick-ass red beard. He does that with style.
They're the best, right? Yesterday it was really good because yesterday we actually were able to get a good stream going. We figured out some technical issues we were having, so we were able to make some adjustments, and it was smooth sailing yesterday, and you could really feel their professionalism, their like pro quality come through yesterday. It was so fun to watch. I don't know about you guys in the chat, but we had a blast yesterday watching those two do their magic. It just brings all of the gameplay to life. It was really cool.
I love the word pictures they put together and how they can just, like, they go from scene to scene almost seamlessly and with a coherent narrative from one to the next. And it's an immersive experience. You're seeing people playing it, you know, at different levels and with different intensities, but these guys just grab it and they put it all together in a package that just keeps you tuned, keeps you focused, and keeps you excited.
On the edge of your seat.
100%. So we got lucky to meet these blokes, these chaps, these
we
fine
definitely
gentlemen,
did.
and we're very excited.
All right, so are we ready? With you all right now, our great team of casters, Hail Monkey Man and Bass from the past. A big round of applause for our amazing all-star team of casters that will be with you guys presenting these finals. They've done an incredible job up till now, and yeah, you can put some music, man. Come on,
And we'll continue to do so.
See
That's
music.
what they
Let's go.
do.
Yeah. All right, there they are.
Give
in
it
all
up.
their beauty, all their glory. Hell Monkey Man is out of control.
That barba is on fuego.
He's truly on fire.
He's bringing
Oh,
the
my
heat
goodness.
to the pit, and the pit is bringing the hit to him.
Hey guys, how's it going out there? We missed you. It's only been about, what, 1 day difference, but we got to finally see how all this is going into this main event grand finale. Again, I'm Hail Monkey Man alongside the awesomeness that is Bass from the past. And of course, we're getting ready to showcase day number 3. But Bass, it's been a wonderful 2 days of competition.
It's been incredible so far. We've seen competition from the highs and lows from so many of our players. Even our day 1 Life Raft player ended up making it into day 2 and made it out of day 2 into day 3 with a very impressive result as well. At this point, we're kind of just waiting and anticipating because, well, we've got our front runners for day number 3. We have got no guarantees, and with over 6,000 USDT on the line, pretty much everyone's going to be laying it out here in the Mosh Pit.
Yeah, we would be remiss if we did not give a bit of a showcase, at least an explanation as to the pathways and the travel that everyone took to be able to get to this moment. You guys, you've been part of this community. You've been part of so many kind of collaborative communities out there with TTOO, with Journey, with Neo Tokyo, and more, to be able to come in and then compete for 1 straight week. There was playoffs that went down. Top 25 of nearly 300 players were rocking up and stacking up those points, but it was only those 25 that were able to compete. Day number 1, we went from 25 down to 15, but you guys guys were able to help Greedy for Win with a community life jacket be able to survive, and he has been one of those high-flying performers ever since then. And then yesterday with Juanito, Johnny putting in a little bit of extra work, he's like, you know what? One of our guys needs to keep going, and you voted him again as well. D. Bosey will be surviving. Now we got 9, and we have some good storylines that come to that. You have Greedy for Win. That is not putting those votes to shame. No, if anyone, they're putting a good name on it, but someone that we keep tracking down with those top performers of Big Brain Poppy and Kezia, Daydream, who broke 50K, Xborg Flowy, that is going to be one of the names that I think gets remembered today.
I think Xborg's going to be a rather interesting story. They haven't necessarily been the standout player at any moment, but they've been a solid and consistent player, and that's the big difference here, as we've seen the highs and lows, like we've talked about, for a lot of these players who have popped off on the day and then not necessarily shown up the next one. The only player who I think consistently has been able to, well, always pop off at this point has been Daydream. Literally every time he has been at least a top 3 player. At this point, he's almost guaranteeing himself a helmet. Question whether or not he's going away with the first placed one or maybe the third or second place one, because at this point the difference is massive. $4,000 USDT going to first place. Second and third, taking some decent amount home. Not only do they get a ton of NFTs as well as those custom helmet NFTs that we talked about before as well, but 1,500 USDT to second place, 1,000 to third place. It may not be 4,000, but it's a lot of money. But considering the fact that second place to first place is a jump of more than 2 times the amount, everybody is gunning for that first place prize.
And it's going to be 3 chances to be able to get to that first place. It is not over until it is over. It doesn't matter if Daydream breaks 50K 2 times or 3 times, because there's still time for all of our upper 9 rather today to be able to get to that same marker. It was a measuring stick, a floor that was set. I think we were around 35,000 was kind of the entry. No, it was actually 36,000 and more to get to this moment. Well, all those players that are in that kind of 4 through 9 towards that bottom, especially D. Bosey, we're hoping the Cowboy, the Wild Wild West Sheriff will be able to own the West and maybe make a name for themselves. But they've got to play their very best today. And the coolest thing about this competition, Bass, is that it's, you can be able to get your best mark in round number 1, but everyone still has 2 more chances to catch up to you. I think that's one of the coolest things that they'll be able to do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think one of the best things about this is, like you said, it's just putting up your best mark. There's no cumulative score. It's just the fact that when can you pop off? You get 3 chances at this one, which is a lot more generous than many other companies probably would, because I think about it this way. They could just do one and done and say, oh, okay, sorry, you didn't win the 4,000. Good luck, try again next time. But no, you get 3 chances. You get a lot of time to be able to warm up and get into the action here on the day. But speaking of day, how about Daydream? Let's talk to our first place contestant from yesterday, one of our top contenders from the first day as well. I think we've got Daydream here for an interview and really get his thoughts before going into the final day of competition.
Daydream coming to us hot for a wonderful interview. You guys got to hear about him, hear from him when it came to day number 1, but no longer do we have catching man Daydream, who's been cool as ice in his veins. Just rocking and rolling so well. First off, congratulations getting to day number 3, for getting over 50,000 points, and for just being you. I mean, okay, tell us all about it. What has this competition really been like for you from the first day in the playoffs all the way to now?
Starting with the playoffs, I thought that top 25 seemed like a task, and then I was quick to realize that I was pretty good at this. Like I could play with some of the best. So just finishing 5th in the playoffs, and then talking to you guys were asking, you think I can get over that hump of the people who were above me, and I said I didn't know, but I just could control what I do, and I've just been trying to get as good as I can this weekend, and yesterday was really a catalyst. Those were my highest scores ever. The pressure was on, and I feel like it kind of boosted my energy, and once I got that first one with 49,000 and was in first place, and I knew I could hit 50,000, I really just wanted to go for it. So the 50,000 really was a big confidence boost, I will say. took a lot of the nerves out of today, to be honest. Just it's obviously a little nerve-wracking. I'm not gonna lie. I try to portray as much as I can of being cool, calm, collected, whatever. But I'm very, very electric. I'll just say.
I like to hear it. I mean, hey, listen, pressure makes diamonds. The reality is, at this point, it seems like you've been able to withstand most of that pressure and get prepared for what is today. Like you said, you set not only the record for yourself, but the record for literally everybody in this competition so far. You were the singular player that has been able to beat 50,000 so far here. We've been talking about the 40,000 club. You have now made yourself an exclusive member of the 50,000 club. The question is, are you doing this again today? Because it seems like if you want to win this whole thing and take that 4,000 USDT prize home, you're gonna need another repeat performance of 50K. Daydream, are you going back to back? Are we seeing another 50K drop here today?
That's the plan. I'm really thinking that it could just what's going on. Yeah, but I think that we might see a couple more members in the 58K club.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness.
It's Catching Man.
God.
It's Catching Man. He's coming to bless us. Oh my goodness.
Oh, what on earth?
The content king themselves. Catching Man.
Wait, I don't think you guys can see it.
Oh no, wait. What?
Oh, wait.
What are we? What are
For
we gonna
any
be
ladies
seeing?
out there,
Ladies,
that's my
call
phone
me.
number. Please call me.
He just doxed
Especially if you're
himself?
over 50.
Apparently, that's.
If you're over 50, please call me.
Hey,
I'm putting that down.
perfect. So
I might not be good at that
Daydream.
in bed, but I'm also not good in the mosh pit. So,
He did say that he wouldn't make it through day number 2, showing off a little bit of chest hair, showing off a little bit of flair. Daydream, do you miss Catching Man? There was some fun antics that Catching was able to bring to us.
Oh yeah.
I
Definitely.
feel like
I was campaigning. I heard the life jacket, and then everybody wanted Debozy, but I was trying to get this man back in there.
wait, guys, can we please talk about that? I'm not one to hate the community, but that was just straight up evil. I turned water into wine for you guys, and you treat me like this? Be scared of me. I'm coming for you guys. And your fathers and mothers, but not in a killing way, but I'll flirt with them and I'll break your whole family apart one by one. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
You better be scared,
Wow.
K-dude.
K-dude, he's coming for you.
Why in particular K-Dude? You're not going after Debozy? He's the one who took the spot. That's who you want?
He's gone.
We're not even going to get an answer. He's gone.
gone.
No response. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Daydream, we wish you the best of luck today, man. It is going to be a wild day. 3 rounds remaining. And we hope that you continue to push the limit. Maybe even break 60K. That could be wild. But you know what? May the mosh pit luck and everything else in there be with you. Good luck today.
Thank you guys so much.
Of course. Well, we're getting ready. It's going to be... Oh, okay. That started us off with the bang already. That's so good.
I don't even know, man. I'm trying to figure that out. All of a sudden I start hearing Ave Maria and I'm like, I don't know where this is going. And then just literally rises from the ashes is Catching. I
miss them already.
shout out production.
Shout out. Just these guys over at Collider Craftworks have been so good. They've been able to give you guys such an amazing show, as well as a great competition that all these players have really shown up to. But we got to get into this. Mosh Pit does not wait for anyone, and so we're getting very, very close to starting round number 1. We're going to be seeing the fixtures today, as well as the prizes. Remember, we got all that ready to go. There is some NFTs, some USDT, but also some players between you and me, Bass. These guys representing the factions, the communities, a whole lot today. I need to know for you, what do you think are going to be our top 3 front runners for the entire day? What do you think?
This is going to be hard. I feel like we've seen the same guys over and over again here, but to be fair, we also saw an underperformance out of some of these guys on day 1, which was really hard to be able to tell. Daydream and Raze seem like the surefire guarantees at this point. Those are the 2 that have seemingly stepped up every time, whether it's day 1 or day 2. They have been somewhere within our top 5 consistently. Daydream being the only person over 50K, I feel like you have to mention his name or you're going to look a fool. But Raze, similarly, again, been able to put up some multiple times, been able to put up over that 40,000 mark. The third place for me is more where it starts to get a little bit shaky, because as much as we saw El Stabilo take third place yesterday, felt like ready for a win. Had they just gotten a little bit more practice, might have been able to sneak into that spot. And similarly, I hate to say it, Big Brain Poppy did not perform to the same degree that we saw on day number 1. Felt like they had the potential to pop off and take a top 3 slot in day number 2, but didn't exactly do so. But I do think that this top 5 is most likely going to be the top 5 coming out of this one. Export, Kezia, Adam, and D-Bozy all did well, but it feels like our top 5 have had consistency above all else. Definitely pay attention to Daydream, definitely pay attention to Raze, and then, you know, maybe we'll start to see who to pay attention to in that third spot later on.
Yeah, it's going to be a mountain that must be climbed by kind of that lower 4 and that middle of the crest. Big Brain Poppy, it's so weird to see them in that 5th position because they held first through the entirety of the playoffs until Raze came in and usurped them in that day 1 flare, but still been able to be that big brain IQ. I want to see all these players not go out early in these rounds. If they do, then I want them to take very seriously that they're going to go through and try and make their best foot forward and effort through the remainder of today. But what are they playing for? You guys have heard us say it. Well, there's a lot of good NFTs, there's a lot of good prizes that these guys are fighting it and duking it out for. Look at that golden helmet. It continues to be stellar every time I see it. First place, 4,000 UST. Second place, 1,500. And third, 1,000. A share of them 10, 5, and 3 NFTs in respective order to first, second, third. And of course, they get a gold, silver, or bronze version of that helmet that has their embedded name and date of when they were able to get it. That means it will be there forever. And just like you guys were hearing from the Collider Craftworks team, they're going to try and get these also to be assets that eventually work into the game. So imagine being the guy that can flex in future moments whenever this goes full co-op, full multiplayer. You've got that on your head. That's got to be one of the coolest things that they could be able to offer this entire awesome community.
Yeah, it is literally a unique prize. It's 1 for 1. You will never be seeing another one of these things again. If they're going to make something similar, it's going to be for another competition, and it won't be this. You'll have to try and find yourself another one here, because the Mosh Pit, it takes no survivors. The reality is, it's cutthroat. We are down to our final day of competition with over 6,000 USDT on the line. I think about 20 NFTs, if not more, as well as those helmets that you saw. And it's all going to start in just a couple of moments. Hail, we are here with our final day like we saw. And when we do get into this action, they get 3 chances. That's it, 3 chances. And if you can put up that 50,000 score that we saw yesterday out of Daydream, you might be able to walk away with a crown on your head. Otherwise, you're gonna have to wait for the next tournament here, because Collider Craftworks have put on an amazing event. But like you said, there's plans for the future. Can't exactly say what, but maybe we'll get some more tournaments in, you know, another time, and you get a second chance. But today, you don't get a second chance. You get 3 strikes, and that is it. The question is, like we said, who's going to be able to come out on top? Will it be the consistency kings of the last couple of days in Raze and Daydream, potentially even Big Brain Poppy? Or are we going to see some of those guys, maybe even the Life Raft winner in D-Bozy, be able to put up a massive score? I think we're about ready to go. Let's count this one down and hop on into the action. Give it a 3, 2, and 1. Round number 1 of the Moshpit Tournament. Day number 3. Championship Sunday is officially here, and we're starting off with none other than Raze. Again, one of our front runners to take this entire thing home here, Hale.
Yeah, this is one of those players that maybe day 2 had just the tiniest little bit of drama. Just be able to inspire them to continue to compete, to do well, and also representing Neo Tokyo, that Angie avatar, which has been so cool to see. All of these awesome champions, as well as the factions that are being represented in this game, have just been at a great level. And look at the just stellar shooting. This is what Raze brings to the table. They do not waste time with either AR repetition. They actually go straight for the sniper rifle to maximize the amount of either crits or just flat damage they can get, so they can get these early waves done immediately and make their bank even bigger into those first few minutes. And that's been another evolution about some of these strategies. We've seen the Fnatic trap that goes into the Canix box with that AR. We've been able to see the work when it goes to the bosses for the LMG, the shotgun, as well as that sniper rifle and rocket launcher trade play. And I want to see how this upper 9 will be competing today. But Raze is definitely one of those that is going to be threatening Daydream all day long.
Yeah, as it stands right now, looks like everybody's starting off pretty hot. dBozy, actually the first one, it seems like, to get through multiple waves, as you saw on the left side of your screen, the leaderboard popping up, and dBozy quick on into the action. Raze, though, definitely no slouch, hitting most of their shots and keeping this one consistent. Because, again, today, not as many competitors here. Guaranteed you're making at least a top 9, which is a decent amount of prizes for no matter what place you place, but at the same time, again, the USDT is what a lot of these guys are hunting for. With over 6,000 on the line, you want the top 3 to guarantee yourself a good amount of NFTs, a unique NFT, as well as those USDT prizes. For AdamG13, this is another player that I feel like we've talked about them a lot. They've always been a good player. What we've been waiting for, though, is for them to go more than good to be great, to be able to pop into one of those top positions and walk away with a prize. Speaking of prizes at this point, it does kind of seem like everybody's on even playing ground right now. El Stabilo, though, a bit quick to the trigger here. They've made themselves a decent score within only about 2.5 minutes at almost 7K. They've been burning through these first couple of rounds.
Remember, yesterday we got to see really the standardization of getting to about 11,000 points around that 3.5-minute mark into our rounds. So we get to see that can be consistent. Big Brain Poppies on the opposite side of this grouping, as we do have Raze and El Stabilo opposite of each other. AdamG13, we had a lot of samples to see how well they can play, and it's just a quick, accurate scoping to be able to get these critical moments of these waves coming out. Wave 5 already complete. El Stabilo also kind of in this little club that's been with them and Xborg Flowy about how they were outside that top 10 when the playoffs were over. El Stabilo came in at 11th, but they were in that top 5 originally whenever we saw them more than a week ago now to really showcase the skill of what is required to be able to do well at this game. 12,000 points, that's actually an accelerated pace now. So they're working really, really well on the efficiency of getting through these early waves. They've already been able to beat the first boss wave, and El Stabilo is now on that second repetition.
Yeah, El Stabilo's been an interesting character to watch as they've gotten better and better as time has gone on. Feels like day one, we weren't necessarily talking about them to the same degree. In comparison, we've been talking about Daydream, what feels like all weekend long, and I don't think we're going to stop anytime soon. They're a little bit behind the mark right now, though. We're about 4 minutes into this one, and it seems like they've only amassed 7,000 points. Maybe if they make quick work here of this boss, they can get themselves just a little bit more. Indeed, they will. 2 sniper shots to the head are going to drain them down to almost no health in Wave 6. Quick work of it, going from a little bit behind the pack to basically ahead of the pack at 11,000 before even that 4-minute mark.
Yeah, that was very quick. We've been seeing how quickly these guys can be able to get through those bosses, and you know, like we were originally saying when it came to the playoffs and into day number 1, it was like, okay, round number 12 seems to be where you separate the good from the gooder, the guys that actually know how to make good work of this pit and know how to kind of work their way around it. That is a direct shot. dBozy is eating a rocket launcher, and if you guys don't remember, day number 1, he ate his own rocket launcher twice before qualifying through that 3rd round rep. So hopefully they don't continue to eat too many of those to the chest. A rocket launcher is not part of your everyday meal, breakfast, and more. So hopefully they stay consistent. Kezia is another one of those players, now just sub 14,000 into wave number 8. It seems to be on pace, on track, but everyone is right now tracking El Stabilo, who just for the moment holds that number 1 position. And like we were talking about, anyone can trade into that upper position at any given time. And through wave number 8, Kezia is able to get to 16K.
And well, if you guys want to keep track of who's still in this game and who is doing well, you can see at the very bottom of your screen here, we've got all of our competitors with the profile pictures up. If they go down, you'll be able to know. They'll be X'd out. They'll be exiting out of this first round, and they will be going down with probably not the best score. As so far, this has been pretty much perfect from everyone we have seen. Everyone getting past that first boss seemingly unscathed, and although it was a little bit close for a couple of our competitors, now we're starting to get into the larger numbers. Everyone above 10,000, no one going down early, as we are about 5 to 6 minutes into our first round. And for a lot of these competitors, it's about trying to just get through this clock as quickly as possible. Again, last couple of days has been, can you survive? A couple of people will probably drop off here and there. It's not about survival anymore. It's about just outdoing everyone else. And for AdamG13, they're doing so with a shotgun in hand. Again, shotgun, not very relevant in day number 2, but it was a really big factor in day number 1. A lot of it has to do with just not taking the risk of getting close to your enemies, because for a lot of people, that close proximity was what did them in multiple times throughout this event.
And what's really cool is AdamG13 is actually using the characteristic of the Rad Kids wave to make the best use of that shotgun, because at first glance and at first shot, whenever you touch them with a bullet of any kind or bit of damage, they will dodge. Well, if you have lethal damage from that shotgun immediately, then you'll be able to take them down in that one blast. They were funneling them as soon as they were coming out the gate, and they had like 3 swordman bruisers coming at them. So good to be able to kind of stay focused, but now they're being chased down by the hyper wave. This is the one that starts to throw a lot of damage very quickly at you, and this is that first test. After you go through the first 5 factions and the boss wave, you get more health, more damage, more problems, because especially hyper is driven through having much more of the horde come out through these gates much more rapidly. So Adam G13 is maximizing the amount of downfield, downrange bullet time that we're getting, and we're approaching about 3 minutes short now of the midway mark here of round number 1, and Adam G13 nearly 20k.
And we haven't necessarily gotten to what I would say is the meat of these rounds, though. Really, the tester for everybody has been that second boss. Getting past wave number 12 is really where you start to see what type of game you're going to have, especially considering wave number 12 has also been difficult for people to score points on. That's one of the bigger things here is that you only get points if you're able to burn through the round quickly enough. So for a lot of people, they end up struggling against that boss and walking away with maybe a handful of points total, underneath 1,000 usually. But in comparison to the multiple thousands that are being put up in between waves, you really got to make quick work of these earlier ones and then get ready for that boss as best you can. Again, rocket launcher been such a useful thing for so many of our players as they continue to utilize it as a way to just drain health early from that boss, switch to a sniper rifle, and see how quickly can you make work of them. However, for El Stabilo here, they seem to be one of our front runners right now at over 19,000 points now. They're getting on to wave 11 and are looking pretty solid, especially considering they're not missing their shots. El Stabilo, again, a player that day by day they have gotten better in comparison to some of our competition who have, just stayed consistently solid. Speaking of consistently solid, Kezia consistently making the second boss. They are the first one there at 22,000 points and in just about 11 and a half minutes remaining.
Yeah, this is now kind of the floor check. All right, who's going to be able to get through boss number 2? That is a big burst of damage, though, as Kezia will eat a rocket launcher, hanging out a little bit too close. Oh, Kezia will go down early. They were trying to track back to the outer side of that upper rim, and they get turned into atoms, disintegrated on the scene. So Kezia will have their first round stop here, 22,000 in the first iteration of today's final. So that's something that, like, okay, all right, I kind of messed up. Maybe I took a step too far. Debozy, on the other hand, who was given that secondary life jacket from day 2 to 3, they're nearly at 30,000, and they're looking pretty good, and they can kind of measure themselves against Kezia's stopping point when they get a chance to, and say, all right, I'm good. Daydream, who also had more than 50k, they're stopped short, well short of that mark.
Well, Daydream seemingly was struggling already out the gates here. You can see this. They were over 10, or just underneath 8 minutes into this one. Only made it to wave number 9, and we're at about 18,000 points. This could just be one of these things where Daydream was realizing round's not going his way. You can try and elongate this as long as he can, but it might just not need to be the one. The good thing, he gets 2 more chances here. For Big Brain Poppy, though, they're trying to make the most of their first chance here, as they're just about 10,000 into the, or excuse me, 10 minutes into this one, and are at 27k. Xborg Floey, though, was on track to be one of our front runners, but seemingly slowed down a little bit, as in wave number 11 they will meet their demise and go back to the lobby to get ready for round number 2. 20,000 points, not a bad setting, but I'm a bit surprised. We're seeing a lot more of our competition go down before even that 10-minute mark than I was expecting.
Yeah, a third of our competition, so 3 out of our 9 have in fact dropped so far here in round number 1. And one big player that we will be able to see in the future, Big Brain Poppy, they were the ones that had survived early on when it came to both playoffs as well as just our 5-man. But El Stabilo, they drop as well. I think they'll be in that kind of lower 4 right now with 21,000, so not looking too good, but it's not the worst. Again, like he said, sometimes you get behind that bell curve, you're like, all right, I know what I could do better. Let me just maybe stop here. I'll take a bit too much damage. I get a bit risky. It's that speed versus safe. How are you going to play it? Raze is playing up to an optimum level. They're actually about 1,000 points behind where we saw the likes of Debozy just a little bit ago, but they're at the wave number 13, so they've been able to move here into the 3rd stage of Outlaws as they're being chased down into the Canex box, into that sniper spawn. One thing that you guys got to remember as well is that these mobs can take the weapons away from you here on the Mosh Pit stage, so you gotta keep track of that when you're making these rotations. Greedy for Win, who was our first guy to be able to get their community life jacket, they're staying through. Big Brain Poppy is trying to vie for even more HP. They get to the big pot, and they're looking pretty good with less than 9 minutes remaining.
We're starting to see, apparently those community life jackets just give you some sort of boost that I'm unaware of. 2 of our community life jacket players still in this one and doing well out the first round. Again, a lot of people going down before that 25,000 mark. Meanwhile, our front runner is the life jacket recipient from yesterday, Debozy at 31K. Wow. Big Brain Poppy might overtake him. Never mind. Debozy on to 34,000 now at this point. Ooh, health is getting a little bit low, though. They do need to be careful here. What was an incredible first run could stop short if they do go down here in the 15th wave. Crazy thing to think about, though, usually we're seeing people get to that 18th wave, that third boss, somewhere around with a couple minutes left. Debozy keeps on the track that he's at right now and is able to survive, and he'll probably get there pretty quickly. Greedy was on similar track, but unfortunately for them, their final round will be the 13th. 30,000 points, not a bad performance in the first round where a lot of people have been going down, but Debozy on track to potentially break some records here if they keep up at this pace.
Yeah, Greedy for win. I think they were around that 3rd place position on an updated version of our leaderboard, so we'll get to see that as we go along. Raze is still tracking to just stay consistent, and this could be the name of the game, at least into this opening round. Get one of your best scores possible, even while the rest of your competition is dropping around you. You don't really stay focused on that. Maybe these guys have the other streams open, maybe they kind of hear a little bit of our field report, and maybe that's changing up some of their style. Adam G13 into wave number 13, they've not been able to accumulate up to that 30k mark, but they're nice, kind of at least comfortable 23. That puts them above the bottom 4. Raze now opting for that sniper rifle, or rather for the AR into this upper ring safety ring. So approaching our final quarter of play here for round number 1. You have nearly, I think about half the field has evaporated to go over to the sidelines, see what's being done to just do better. But at this point in the competition, you gotta know how you're gonna rotate, how you can maximize your damage going downfield. And Debozy is trying to join the 40k club.
I gotta say, Debozy's been able to maximize his rotations in every single way, shape, and form. So many times we've seen this player on very low health, but somehow they not only survive, but they're able to do massive damage while rotating around the mosh pit. And this is something you and I talked about yesterday, is that risk versus reward level of being able to get into the face of your opponents and go to low health, but not get too low health. Debozy is not focusing on that upper ring at all. They recognize that it is going to take away a lot of time to try and rotate up there. So rather than making said rotations, they're focusing on staying on the ground, but just picking up health pot after health pot in order to refresh themselves and stay in the game. Good example there. They go down to maybe 20% of their health, but are able to collect it back up. The issue this time, though, is they're not even on 10, and they still do it again. Again, Debozy, efficiency beyond compare. No matter where they're moving, it's toward another health pot while still outpouring damage, and that's made them move on a wave 16 with a massive amount of points.
And that was against a couple of mini hypers, which some of you have said you absolutely loathe and despise. Well, your hero Debozy is able to mow them down with some efficiency. They'll be facing off against the Chosen just before they make their way over into that 3rd boss by Big Brain Poppy at 35,000 with about 5.5 to go. They're going to be doing the same thing. Finish the hyper, go to Chosen. Raze is trying to do the exact same thing. Everyone is on track with each other, somewhere in the mid-30s. Raze is actually a few steps behind, and they're trying to be able to finish off this tough one. This is one of those upper echelon type of moments where, all right, am I able to make quick work of these guys? This is so much damage being poured out, especially because you have the mini hypers. These guys are so ruthless and they're so mean. They try to get up in your face and they don't allow you to create that safety space that you enjoy. Raze with 5 minutes approaching, and they're just trying to be able to get to the Chosen before that 3rd boss approaches.
It's starting to feel like Little League Soccer, or what is it, Pee Wee Soccer, I guess is the best way to put it at this point, you know? Or I guess it should be saying football. That's my mistake on that one. But really, it is just overwhelming. Everybody's rushing towards the one spot, trying to just see if they can overwhelm the individual player, and if that should be enough to take them down. We've seen this a lot with the Fanatics. It feels like that's probably been the biggest issue, but you are correct. The hypers have been a big issue, because when they get in their face, they can do massive damage in a very quick succession, and we've seen that be the downfall for a lot of players throughout this event. Raze, though, seems to understand if he's within cover, he can take a second breathe and approach his next attack, which is, again, very different from what we're seeing from Debozy, who is risking everything to try and be as quick as possible. Raze is just trying to put up consistency, stay solid in every single one of their approaches. Debozy, in comparison, again, look how low his opponents are, look how low the boss's health is, but look how low his health is going. One poor play, and he might just be going home. He gets lucky as he barely dodges the boss's attack. That one could have sent him packing, but instead, he will send the boss packing and move through wave 18 with 48,000 points. This is the best performance we have seen out of dBozy by far, and he's on track to potentially even break the 52K we saw yesterday at a Daydream.
Oh my goodness, plenty of time to be able to do it. It's just about survival beyond that 18th wave, and if we see 50 before the 20th wave, that I think is it's a record all itself, because it was Daydream that was doing it at that wave 20 mark to get up to 52K, so that's wild right now. So every single day we see this competition continue to cruise. It is not cruise control, it is with a measure of lethality to make it happen. 46,000 for Big Brain Poppy. That is something that they've been able to continuously push the limit of. That's not quite their best. I think we've seen them hit 47-ish thousand, but this is still Big Brain Poppy, that front runner that was there for so long, trying to be able to catch up. But guess what? It is that community life jacket buff that is being worn by dBozy with more than 3 minutes to go. There's so much time. They're working against this prototype wave, but remember, this wave is all about being able to get behind cover. They're kind of spec ups. They're trying to be able to work around you, so you have to go and find them. They hunt them down. They hit 51K. Add another to the 50K club. It is a little less exclusive now.
And he gets on to wave 20, but he's already at 50K, like you said. It's an impressive showing, and again, it's a showing that is very different from the usuals here. I have to imagine that his opponent's going to be taking notes here, because he's quite literally rushing into danger every time, but just recognizing the patterns of attack from his opponents and being able to dodge around them to where even in the face of adversity, he can go from one health pot to another and be able to pick up enough health that even when he goes low, he doesn't have to worry. Meanwhile, again, here's the other approach. Raze, calm, cool, collected, and measured, taking every single approach against his enemies in a safe way to guarantee himself a solid score no matter what. He's on wave 18, but as you can see in the top right, he is only at 38,000 in comparison to many of his opponents who have been able to get to 50,000. The difference, though, is dBozy. This is what we said, risk versus reward. He might have put up the best score we've seen so far in the day, but he also goes down before that 20 minutes expires. Still, at 51,000, dBozy's got to be beyond impressed and excited by his first performance.
I mean, it's a great performance, and it's one that we knew the sheriff of this Wild Wild West contest is trying to do the best with, but with 100 seconds remaining for Big Brain Poppy, they could be able to improve upon that score depending upon how they take on this prototype wave. There are rocket launcher fiends that keep busting out of the gates. That one is a lot of splash damage. They're looking for a quick pot, a single extra bit of damage, and they could go down. They're trying to be able to dodge as best they can. No, they can't get to the healing pot, so 49,000 is where Big Brain Poppy will be stopped, and everyone is doing the stanky leg on him from a distance. So not a bad first start for Big Brain Poppy, but that maintains dBozy's composure at the top of the stack. Raze, they're a little bit, they've got a minute, they've got some time, but they've got to work through this wave 19 before they can have a threat to go to Big Brain Poppy or maybe even overtake dBozy.
And the big issue for them is I just don't think they have enough time. As you can see in the top right, the bounty for Wave 19 dropping by the seconds, and even if they're able to make it through this one, what are the odds they make it through the next? Because at 48,000, they basically got to clean this wave up in about a half a second in order to beat their opponents, and they don't really have that many seconds. 40 to go here, getting into the next wave. We're going to focus on Raze here to close this one out. Will they be able to finish this round, or will they go down with 48,000 being their final score? RPG in hand, he's going to wait to use that at the right moment, and there it is, using it against one of the heavies, and that should take them down with a single shot. Raze, you got 20 seconds to go. Can you clear this round? Get yourself over that 50,000 mark and join a club that only 2 other players have been able to get to. 13 seconds to go. Hale at this point, it's all down to can they hit their shots? Can they make quick work of the enemies in front of them? LMG in hand, draining every single one. There might be one last enemy. 3, 2, 1. They can't get it done. Oh. And unfortunately for Raze, they will finish at 48,000. We've still got a competitor left here, though. Going against the third boss is Adam G13. I don't know if this is going to make a difference, because at 35,000, they're a bit behind the pack here, Hale. But still, a solid score in comparison to many of the other players who have gone down early here in our first round.
Yeah, this is kind of going to be that measuring stick, I guess, for Adam G13. They're going to be in that 40,000 range. They do get done with wave 18. They've got a minute and 20, but there's not going to be a lot of points. You see so many points as it builds up through those rotations and the cycles from factions to the big boss wave, but this one has at max about 4,000 points for it. You can be able to clear through the outlaws here, but it won't put a dent into that top 3 because it's a minimum 48,000 for Raze, 49,000 for Big Brain Poppy, and 51K plus loss for D Bozy at that triple stack above Adam G13. That doesn't mean they're not going to give it their best effort though, because they don't know the results, at least compared to what they may have tabbed in or out of. But they're mowing down these bullies and these mobs as they come in left and right. 40 seconds to go. This will at least be a great first start. This will separate them from the lower four into the upper four. Adam G13 has been one of those players we've seen so much good work out of over the course of this competition. And with a half minute remaining here, Bass, it seems that yes, they're not going to be able to reach that upper three, but this is something that is a great start for the day.
Absolutely, especially considering the fact that we've had so many players who are popping off, if you will. Listen, Twitch chat, you guys got this one right. I saw someone said, damn, why is everyone popping off today? Good question. I don't really know, because we were struggling to see more than a handful of players get to 40,000 yesterday, and the players who were getting to 40,000 yesterday were not the same group of players who we see here today, especially not the 50,000 club. Already getting another member and getting multiple players who are close. Adam G13 will join that 40,000 club, 43,000. I believe their best score so far, and close it out on wave 19 with a 20-minute expiration of time. Big difference here on day number 3. We said pressure makes diamonds, and it has made an entire mine of them. My oh my, is everybody stepping up when the competition counts.
I mean, they gotta step up. There are no stools to assist you. You've got to continuously do it yourself through your own manpower, your leg power, and look at that top 4. That's where the 40,000 progression begins. We did see our lower 4, Kezia, El Stabilo, Xborg, Flowy, and Daydream. They all fell a little bit short. I think that at max it was around, around 10, 11, somewhere in that range, but it was greedy for win. That middle of the pack type player, they like to make those resurgences rather in later term in rounds 2 and 3. But shout out to D Bozy using what the community gave him, 51,000 and round number 1. How do you think, Bass, going to the mind of one of our key players that we had just a moment ago, Daydream being at the bottom here, do you think that this seems like a daunting mountain to climb for them, or is this just where they recoup and recover? What do we got for them? What do you think?
I think this is really very much just a sort of, it's a washed round. And I think, honestly, I think they knew that out the gates as well. Daydream was already falling behind the rest of the pack in terms of just their trajectory going off early. It might have been that they took early damage from someone they weren't expecting, maybe left the rocket launcher in the center to try and pick up in another round, but instead an enemy picks it up, hits them, and drains them of their health, and they're kind of playing from the back heel the rest of the time. I think for Daydream, this was a wash round. They basically recognize that it's not worth it, say bye-bye, and then head on to the next one here, because you do get 30 chances. So for Daydream, don't panic quite yet. Same for El Stabilo and same for Xborg Flowy, who ended up finishing underneath that 22,000 mark. Even for Kezia, who's at 22,000 as well. Take a second and breathe. You guys don't need to panic yet, because we still have 2 rounds to go. And although the rest of the competition is definitely stepping up, 48,000 being our 3rd place in comparison to which yesterday probably, I believe, would have gotten you at least 2nd. Yeah. Today is going to be a different day, but you got time to work with here, Hale. Don't panic quite yet, because that's only round number 1 of the competition.
No panic. And of course, you guys out there in the chat, congratulations to whoever got closest to Ray's at 48,369 points. I'm not exactly sure who put it out there, but, if you're a math wizard, please give me tomorrow's winning lottery numbers. For right now, we're going to give you guys the momentary break of a little bit of a DJ, work out there. So enjoy the tunes, enjoy the music. We'll be back in just a moment with round number 2 of today's main event.
yo,
And we're back.
Yo. That was fun, huh?
See those moves, amigo? I want to see you bouncing. Yeah.
That was freaking.
right.
That was fun, eh? That was, and each one of these rounds come with their surprises. All right,
They sure
Juanito,
do.
let's keep this popping. People are
We've got
excited.
something for you in the chat. Guys, not only did we get a crazy amount of activity, a crazy amount of heat in the pit, we've got heat for you in the chat. Who's ready to go for the second activity for this last day, this grand finale of the main event? Are you guys ready? Who's ready? Type 1 in the chat. Type 1 in the chat. Type 1 in the chat. Who's ready? Who's ready? Who's ready? This one goes for 400 USDT. Second activity for 400 USDT. Who's ready? Where are all those keyboard warriors trained and forged in the fires of Web3? Get ready, Freddy. Here goes for 400 USDT. And the question goes like this. The first person to guess who will get eliminated on the second match will win 400 USDT. Go now in the chat. Here's your chance. This is your chance. This is your opportunity to shine and get those 400 USDT. I repeat, the first person to guess who will get eliminated, the first one to get eliminated in the second match will win the 400 USDT.
That's gonna be a tricky one. I mean, that could be anybody because we've been seeing just the most random, right? Daydreams, I think, was the first one to get eliminated in the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he
one to pop.
was number one, so
Number
it could
one.
be anybody. That's
Rags
what's
to
beautiful.
riches.
That's what's exciting about these tournaments. When you're live, anything can happen.
Yes, sirree.
That's
The
what I like
pits.
about these live tournaments. Anything can freaking happen. The least expected can happen.
It keeps you alert. It keeps you alive, right?
It's what we're all about. Okay,
Yes, sir.
let's keep this popping.
All
Let's
right,
go.
guys. We'll give it up to the casters now with you, Sir Hale and Bass. Round of applause for these fine gentlemen.
Yeah, they're killing it.
It is a wild thing to see. First off, how many people wrote Kezia because they saw them get atomized by a rocket launcher? That was very quick, guys. Everyone was like, oh yeah, Kezia's going to die again too. But then a few people writing Catching Man is going to get eliminated. that was great.
They're not wrong.
That's true. He is in fact gone. So maybe not the first one out of this one. But again, I'm Hale Monkey Man. That is the awesome Bass. And so we're getting ready to go into round number 2. These are your 9 players that are still surviving. Some of you are betting right now who will go out first. I don't know, Bass. That's like based on the danger zone that these guys have been playing in. I mean, do we both think D-Bozy with as high risk, high reward? Would he go out first in this round?
I mean, there's potential. Again, it's just kind of, do you set yourself on the right foot forward? And for D-Bozy, with such a risky strategy, the question is whether they up that risk here in round number 2, because they've already set the mark. 52,000 is basically the highest score we've ever seen. So the reality is that at over 50K, they're good to go. They don't necessarily need to have as much pressure in these next couple of rounds. They can kind of use this round 1 result and sort of not coast on it, but just be comfortable with it throughout the rest of the competition. So D-Bozy might just try and go just as intense here in the second round, and if it doesn't work out early, like we saw happen to Daydream here, they could find an early exit. I do not think that Daydream's going to be the one to early exit here, though, at this point. I think the big thing for me is that he had a bad round, but again, pressure makes diamonds. The reality is, with so much pressure on his back, I have a feeling he's going to step up to the task here in the second round because, again, listen, I'm okay with you leaving it to the third round, but Daydream, I think you and I both know you don't want to have to rely on a single score, basically, in the third round to even get yourself into the prizing. Establish yourself in round number 2 here, at least get confident, at least get warm, and then you can kind of go from there. But for a lot of these players, it kind of is that attitude. Only about 4 of our players putting up what I would say is a solid score in the first round. So round number 2, a lot of people needing to step up.
Very true. And Adam G13, they're going to be like super proud probably of their score at that 43K mark, and they're still going to see that it fell to 4th place instead of 3rd, which is the money pit, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, where all that USDT and of course the 3 separate Moshpit Tournament helmets, those unique, awesome gold, silver, and bronze versions of them exist. So everyone's going to be pushing as hard as they can. I think it does come down to a 50-50 shot based on mentality. D-Bozy doesn't have too much to lose by dying early in this round, I can see them going early. Daydream, because they maybe feel all right, as long if they can't keep an even composure or like a temper, they may try too hard to be able to get themselves into a good striking distance of what is that upper 3. But you know what? It sounds like we're good to go. Let's get into match number 2, round number 2 of day number 3 with a 3, 2, 1. Let's get in there. Let's join into the mosh pit.
And D. Bozy, the first person we're going to check in on, our current frontrunner at over 50,000 points on the leaderboard. Exact number to beat, 51,338. 51,338. If you can hit that 52,000 mark that we saw Daydream do yesterday, you'll technically take first place. But the reality is, at this point, we've had a very few amount of players, only 2 total, make it to the 50K club. But if you want to win, the 50K club is now a requirement. Yesterday, it was just a flex. Today, it is the difference between a couple $1,000 in your pocket and walking away with none. Well, you still get some NFTs, which is by far a huge plus. But again, with over 6,000 USDT on the line, the difference between 5th place and 1st is a staggering amount. So a lot of these guys truly hunting for that 1st place position. Big Brain Poppy, someone who stepped up in the 1st round, and 2nd place at 49,000. They should be decently comfortable here in the 2nd round. But again, you don't want to rest on your laurels. You do that for 1 second, and all of a sudden, someone hits that 50K club as well, and you're popped down to maybe 3rd, even potentially 4th, and out of the money of that top 3.
Yeah, Big Brain Poppy is going to be one of those guys that is probably going to be hard charging the entirety of each of these 3 rounds. I mean, they were doing so whenever we were just in the playoffs, but they've been able to pop heads faster than I can pop corn and be able to have a nice snack for what is the cinema of getting to see these guys play. So we're already on the chosen round. They're going to maintain mid-control. That's going to be Adam G13 again in that number 4 position with 43,000 points, and they've got 1,000 because they're just here in wave number 2. So let's see if they can keep that efficiency again, working with that sniper rifle, trying to be able to take down the prototype faction as fast as they can. That's one of the bulkiest, one of the most HP driven factions because they have a little bit of extra armor and resistance as well as they work from behind cover. Kezia, who everyone thought, hey, they're going to go down early. We're going to see the rocket launcher get used quickly, and then they're going to trade out for the sniper rifle because they're already onto that boss wave, and everyone is starting to progress into that. Wave number 6 gets completed though by Raze, and something that we have touched on, Raze fell just a little bit behind, just a tiny bit behind. Their pacing wasn't at the same as both Big Brain Poppy as well as D Bozy in round number 1. Looks like they're on even keel right now as they're already into the 2nd rotation.
Yeah, it feels like we're starting to see people make it through that first boss within a similar time frame to yesterday, and I think for a second you and I were both surprised by that today it slowed down a little bit. The pace of play wasn't necessarily as quick as yesterday, but again, it's also the warm-up round. Round number 1 for most of our players truly was that sort of wash round, rinse and repeat, if you will. But now here in round number 2, the warm-up has officially concluded, and now we get into the meat of the competition. Big Brain Poppy taking the meat out of his opponents, immediately sending them to the scrapyard as all of a sudden, wave 7 complete, and they're quickly making work of their opponents. Similarly, Daydream, my oh my, did you step up after an underperforming round number 1? 5 minutes, not even into this, and they're already at 14K.
Yeah, they're driving and thriving as hard as they can. Nearly about 4.5 minutes here into round number 2, and they did hit 18,000 points, and they're about 4K short of that. They're going to be able to get a nice half chunk of that here into this round. If they can be able to finish off these prototypes, and in front of them they'll have even more. Kezia, who is representing the sole representation of that Journey community as well. They're at about 4.5 minutes, but less than that mark. The 2nd boss, who actually the 1st boss that's right in front of Adam G13, they finished with about 12,000, and they're on pace, actually a little bit quicker pace than what we saw from Big Brain Poppy before. El Stabilo, who is a fan favorite among so many of you out there in the chat, 12K, and they're into wave number 7 as well. This is a great split. First off, love to the production to be able to showcase all of our players, this quad set that you guys are seeing, as well as that awesome leaderboard over there, which is what all of you guys should be maintaining some good focus on. And if you want to see it updating live, tournaments.collider.gg/leaderboard will get you in that same direction, so you can be just as live with us as we are with you at home.
And you guys can also, like we said before, pay attention to the bottom of your screen here. We've got all 9 of our competitors, and if they exit early, you will know. We know Daydream, after being on par to potentially break even his 52,000 from yesterday, is now going to need to get it done in the final round. Round 2, again, another early exit. I don't think either one of us expected this out of Daydream. I'll tell you this much, I definitely did not.
What? I said, maybe I cursed it. I said it's a 50-50 between D-Bozy and Daydream. A little bit of D&D, if you will, but maybe feeling too much of that pressure. He was talking earlier about how he's like, I just want to stay focused, and I did be able to put up those awesome numbers, and I felt good about it. Well, leaving it up to chance. Oh, and Xborg Flowy, who again was in that 8th position, is not able to do any better than their 20,000. They will drop out at 16K. So we've already had 2 early exits between those two. Look at the quad set now. You got Stabilo, Raze, Adam, and Kezia that are still grinding right along. Right now in front of all of them, you got 18K apiece for both Kezia as well as Raze, and Adam G13 and Stabilo are just trying to survive. I think it's through that wave 8 each apiece. But man, we're seeing some early exits, and that's the bottom 2 of our top 9 right now today. That's the sweatfest that's going to come around for them in round number 3.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's backs up against the wall. They don't really have much of an option, stuck between a rock and a hard place, and that hard place that they have to escape from is going to be the bottom of the barrel here for our main event this 3rd day, the Championship Sunday, as they are quite literally sitting in 8th and 9th place overall. D-Bozy, meanwhile, still making quick work of his enemies here. This in-the-face attitude has worked out. Wanted to mention this a little while earlier. Something we haven't really utilized, or I guess seen from a lot of players, has been that shotgun against the bosses there. Adam G13 made very quick work to that first boss, not trying to keep his distance, but just getting in the face, shotgun shots enough until eventually you can use that rocket launcher to finish off the health. A strategy we haven't seen a lot of, but might get more implemented as we get through the 2nd round and into our 3rd. Again, strategy against those bosses are some of the most important things in the entire thing, because those boss rounds worth a decent amount of points, and if you can make work of them very quickly, all of a sudden you can rise above the pack and really start to set the pace for this 3rd day.
Yeah, and that's right. I think the first boss is somewhere in that 6 to 7K range, which is a nice big chunk. And then when you go to the next one, I think it's around the 10,000 point range, which is really able to help you separate. This is Sugar Daddy. This is one of my favorite bosses because it's that triple rocket launcher and it spreads in a conal fashion. Kezia will drop as well, unable to be able to get over the 22,000 mark. They go to 18,000. So, not the first to drop out of this round, like so many of you voted for first, but definitely in a position where they're going to have to try their hardest going into our 3rd round. On the opposite end of that, Stabilo has been able to breach 18,000, and Raze has now gone into 20 as they're in wave number 11 just before that boss round. They're using the Fanatic Trap to be able to get all the explosions in one place, but Greedy for Win, who was the first one that was able to sway your hearts into allowing them to go through round or day number 2 into day number 3. They're about 14K, make it 16. They're in those early rounds. Greedy for Win really likes to take their time before they really start getting to this competition. Maybe see the rest of the field advance in front of them before they catch up.
And it's not a bad idea. The reality is at this point is that no matter what strategy you take, the big thing that we need to see is these guys survive for a decent amount of time. Even our front runner ended up making it to, I'm going to say about 18, 19 minutes before they eventually died. And when they did, they'd already set 52,000, the record to beat here on the day. So a lot of these players got to be careful. If they do want to take some more risky plays, they do need to be careful for the moments where they need to be risk adverse. Speaking of which, El Stabilo, down to barely any health. Their in-the-face attitude has worked out thus far, but could this be the last time it works out, as they could exit out of round number 2 with only 18, make it 19,000 this time. They do end their wave, so they should have a chance to go and collect some health. Meanwhile, D-Bozy already on our 2nd boss and using the sniper rifle to their advantage. A couple of shots from a distance, going to drain Sugar Daddy of over half of their health. Now they're going to keep using that AR to try and drain all of it. D-Bozy, I gotta say, you've been put down to the rocket launcher on repeat throughout this competition. You don't seem to care this time, but maybe you should. They will make quick work of this 12th wave, but not at the risk of their health. 2nd there, I thought that would be another early exit for D-Bozy.
D-Bozy was risking my health. El Stabilo, they will fall again. Everyone falling a little bit short. This is actually interesting. This is the equal but opposite of what we saw in day number 1 and day number 2. This is regression of our early round into round number 2. So Big Rain Poppy, they're doing nothing but progression with that 30,000. Greedy for Win is trying to be able to cap out. They will get the bigger healing pot, and they now are trying to chase down the remaining mobs that are here in wave number 10. This field is shrinking considerably and more quickly here in the second third. So will these guys will be able to find that inspiration, that motivation, be able to really perform going into the last portion of our competition? Now into Sugar Daddy for Adam G13. They did survive before. They got a big health push, and now they're trying to be able to use that sniper from distance. Got to be careful because this is the same situation that Kezia put themselves into on their first roll, but now good critical shots. They're able to get at least a spike of damage out, but it's still above 50%. And that's something that's actually good use too. Based on this distance and where Adam G13 is staring down Sugar Daddy from, they're putting splash damage onto themselves because of the rockets that come out, and they're helping themselves chip away their own health bar.
And they're doing a really good job of just playing this one very carefully. I think that's the big difference, is that we've seen some people play with a more careful attitude, and we've seen some people play with a more carefree one. Adam G13, measured approach, and I think it's working out for them so far as they're continuing on through here. Raze, on the other hand, though, putting up a pretty big number already. 30,000, just past that 11-minute mark. And with wave 14 gone, they're now at 33. Raze seemingly stepping up from the first round performance. And again, it's not as if they really needed to. At 48,000, they've already put themselves in a good position to at least get that top 3. But again, for Raze, someone who has been in our top 1 to 2 pretty much every day, I think they're aiming for first place, especially when some of their biggest competition is not stepping up on the day. I hate to point it out, but Daydream, again, was by far Raze's biggest competition through these 2 days of play so far. And here in the third day, he has not stepped up, so Raze might just be seeing the door open and is trying to make copies of the keys before it is too late. MG13 trying to do the exact same thing. They're past the halfway mark with a decent score. DBozy, similar approach, lesser of a score this time though. Last time they got past the halfway point and you and I were a bit surprised how far they got. This time they got 8 minutes to go and they're just at around 30,000. So DBozy maybe take this one a little bit more carefully after an insane win in round number 1. Round number 2 might just be trying to gain some confidence before the final round here of the day in our third.
Yeah, just having the heat in your hands, making sure the blood flow is there, making sure that they're ready. If they have to be able to make a big push, that they can do so. And we've seen these guys actually vying for the LMG a lot more often, especially be able to just sprint down and spray down to get through the later terms of these rounds, especially into rounds 19 and 20 when they just want to put some guns downfield. And Raze got caught in a weird position. They actually ran out of ammo on both their heavy as well as their AR, so they're having to use that silenced pistol to be able to put some extra bullets into skulls. Adam G13 at 30,000 and to wave number 14. We have only a few survivors here right now into our second round, and it's making use, and actually that's a lot of runners coming at Adam as well, as you're going to go over to the sniper rifle, but we have less than a half to go. Adam, I think, is the furthest from completion when it comes to going on the full 20 minutes. And again, they were around that 4th place position. You guys see the leaderboard right now. That isn't current scores from this round. That is best scores from round 1 now to round number 2. DBozy still hanging on with 51,000. Adam G13 has a little ground to be able to make up, and that's the difference between having your Cypher airdrops and then a little bit of extra cash to help you out. Raze, though, is pushing the limits as they've got about 6.5 minutes, 35k. DBozy at the 32k mark.
DBozy continue to play with this risky strategy. Their health draining so quickly. They will pick up a small pot here, but it's not even going to get them to half health, and considering they're being overwhelmed by the enemies around them, yeah, rocket launcher going to be a big choice, but they still got a couple more enemies to try and dive through here, and as he's continually getting pushed, small pot coming back to the rescue to get them just barely to about half health here. And DBozy, again, playing with fire is pretty much the only way I can describe what we're seeing right now, which feels like over and over again, they're getting so close to being drained of their health. A single errant shot that takes too much of their health, and they're probably heading home here for the second round. I'm going to have to try again in the third. Raze, though, comfortable position, 35,000, 5 minutes to go. They'll probably be able to get over the 40k mark, but Hale, the question at this point, do they beat their record of 48,000? Because they still got a long way to climb and not that much time left.
No, they do not. They're going to be able to get maybe about just less than 2k, so that boosts them up to 37k. This is a chosen round, so they should be able to funnel a lot of those fanatics into one spot. You see them already moving over to the AR canister to be able to trap them here, and they're going to jump on top of this and form the trap. DBozy is a little bit more loose, wild, and free. The Sheriff is trying to be able to go full pistolero from the hip as he's taking on the Hypers just before that chosen round. So we'll be going back and forth between these two as well, as wherever Big Brain Poppy and their score is able to go and rise up to the occasion. All three of these guys, it's DBozy in control because of their first round antics and going for these health pots just to be able to stay alive as they quickly trade back and forth between pillars and find where these Hypers are running around so they can get to the safety net of the chosen round before the big boss wave. They're going straight to the gates here, Bass. They are not waiting for any of this, and that's a lot of free fire damage that's in their face, but as long as they keep the rotation up to get these healing pots, they're still staying alive, but only barely, as they're just having that HP bar chipped away.
And again, they're still sticking to a strategy we haven't seen a lot of players do, which is no utilization of that upper ring whatsoever. They're just traveling from health pot to health pot to health pot to health pot. And that's very intentional, as you can see, because they know they're going to drain health by using this said rotation. But as long as they can get to the other health in time, they should be okay. But he might have miscalculated here. Debozy on the run will find a small pot. But unfortunately, the other one, they were hoping it would spawn in time, but by the time they got there, the health was low. They can't even enter the box because they know they'll get gunned down. So we'll have to check in on them in a little while. Still on the knife's edge, if you will. And I think that knife's edge... No, not going to stay dull. It'll stay sharp. They'll keep themselves in this one. But as you saw, a couple of our contestants starting to get to that third boss. And that third boss is really make or break. If you can get past that 18th wave, if you can make it past that third boss, all of a sudden, you're probably putting up a pretty decent score for the round overall. But for Adam G13, they just got to survive and get there. Again, also utilizing this lower ring, the mosh pit itself, rather than the upper ring that people have been escaping to. I think that's the big difference here on the day. People starting to recognize how much health the enemy can drain within a certain amount of time and utilizing those pots on the ground to just make quick rotations between them while outpouring damage to the maximum degree.
It's not a bad position to be in because you have the AR respawn for the ammo right in the middle of it, and you form a triangle with the two lower pots and the one that's up on the electrical trap right above you. And then this is a good position to be in, especially because this is the hyper wave. And then when you finally get through this, you can form the chosen trap that's able to get all the fanatics to come up underneath you. So it's a good position, showing a good showcase of knowledge, and that's a quick kill, quick fire. 47k for Raze with 3 minutes to go. Bass, this is actually a great position. Wave 19, they could be able to truck and trek through these next couple, and I think they could be able to get at least 3 waves down with this much time remaining, and maybe able to usurp Debozy here on the day.
Not even UC just Debozy. They might be able to set the all-time record that we've seen so far throughout the weekend. They are by far on track to make that 50,000 mark. And the big thing that got them there is something we didn't even get to see, making apparently quick work of the boss. We didn't even see them, and we only spent, what, a minute or two away from Raze? Usually that third boss taking a lot of time to try and get through. In comparison, Big Brain Poppy starting to struggle in these later rounds, while Raze is seemingly happy. They've laid out a picnic, and they're just chilling. Debozy is not. They're going to exit out of this one, head home for the second round and get prepared for the third. Their 52,000 will stand as their highest score is 37,000 and wave in 17 is not going to be enough to usurp that first position. But I have to say, again, we got to focus on Raze here. They are absolutely on track to break the record here and potentially even go further than that 52,000 mark that we saw set yesterday by Daydream.
Yeah, Raze was actually, with an updated leaderboard, they were able to break into the 50k mark. They are all of about 1,300, maybe 1,200-ish points below Debozy, and they have plenty of time to be able to get some of those crucial waves and get that score moving up even higher. Big Brain Poppy, they're at 46,000. They're a little bit slow but they have a minute and a half. They could be able to get over Debozy as well, as long as they keep track with it. Raze at 50,000, have a lot of damage, but they're trying to vie for some of these pot respawns. So they're going to go over to and around the AR. They're going to go for that shotgun, though, and now they're going to go for that lower can Xbox hot respawn as well. With 75 seconds remaining, they're going to go straight into the danger zone. Look at them taking on the prototypes, and it's going to be full Raze all the time. This is going to be your last one remaining. 50k. Can they be able to overtake Debozy? You gave them a life jacket to let them go from day 2 to day number 3. Less than a minute to go. Raze is trying to choose and show the king of the court. They've got 52,000. They've taken over first place.
Well, the question is whether or not with 50 seconds remaining, they can get past what has been our furthest wave so far. I think this is the first time we have seen someone get to wave 21, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe the second time, if that, but they definitely by far have the best chance to beat wave 21 and make it to the 22nd that I know for certain we have not seen anybody get to. Raze, you got half a minute to go. What can you do from this upper ring? You're probably the only player still in this one utilizing this strategy, but with a sniper in hand and a shot that won't miss, it's probably not the worst idea. 20 seconds to go, though. Got to make quick work of any enemy, and they got them rushing the upper ring here. Raze got to try and escape, and they'll do exactly that. Like we said, 10 seconds to go. Fanatics building up at this point. Can they take them down? Melee in hand. They'll take down 1, take down maybe 2. They still got 3, 4 seconds to go. Can they clean up the round? Potentially cap this one off with a bit of a win. The answer is no, but they will still set the record on the day. Raze 52,000 points. Now the mark to beat. And Big Brain Poppy, they may not have gotten over that 50k mark, but they do up their score from what I believe is either 47 or 48,000 to now 49. They have further increase the gap between the players, as Adam G13, our final player remaining, with a minute to go, he might be able to take over Big Brain Poppy, though.
Just maybe. Just a tiny bit. They have to get at least 2 rounds for it to happen, because I think even if they get this one, they'll fall short of 49,000 up to around 48,000. Adam G13 has been very, very consistent, but they've not been able to get those points when they need them the most in the fastest amount of time. Yes, they've been able to survive, but survival is one thing, but speed is the other. Wave 19 does go down. They need this next wave to happen, and it needs to happen soon. It takes all of a moment for the wave to begin. That's about a 5 to 7 second differential. You see that countdown? They have to be so efficient. This is for top 3 with still 1 round to go, and I don't think the spawn is going to happen fast enough for them to be able to make it happen. They immediately get a crit on one of the heavies that comes through. They spray them down. This is the prototype range and round where all the mobs are beefed up, and so many rocket launchers, they have to make a fast dodge out of danger, but it's only 15 seconds to go here, Baz, and I think there's just too much in front of them for them to break the top 3.
And they also got a little bit nervous. You see that they retreated to go for the big health pot, anticipating that rocket launcher to hit and for them to immediately get drained of their health. In doing so, they actually let a lot of the enemies get a better position on them, and now it's just too much to handle. Too much heat in the kitchen. You're going to have to step out and step away from the second round with 48,000 points total. Yesterday, you get 48,000 points. You're guaranteeing yourself potentially some money. Today, different story, with 49,000 being third place and 2 of our participants already making it into that 50,000 range. It's cutthroat. We said 50K was the number to beat today. Well, it's not just the number to beat. It's the number to qualify for our top 3 positions. You don't get that 50K, you're walking away with 0 USDT in your pocket. And although you're getting a good amount of NFTs, which we all know is an amazing prize in itself, thousands of dollars of USDT on the line for our top 3. And unfortunately for Adam G13, even with 48,000, they are not holding on to any of that.
Through round number 2, it is the return of the king, as Raze is able to raise the stakes as well as the field of competition, getting and breaking into the 52K mark. D-Bozy, they're going to have to vie into round number 3 of our final bit of competition, because they had 51K to start the day, and that's good for second, but right now that ain't number 1. Big Brain Poppy, I'm liking the consistency. They get to that number 3, but hey, you know what? This leaderboard is all set to evolve and change, but so are our 2 Poombas that are hanging out for us, as they got to see all the action from the co-op couch. Let's go back over to them. It's Daniel, it's Johnny, it's your 2 favorite hosts. Hey guys, how was it over there for you guys?
God damn,
those boys are on fire.
Couch co-op Poombas in the house. So yeah, bring it on.
Raze,
Danielito, was that fire or what?
Sweet baby
Raze
Jesus.
rose the bar. He took that 50K club and owned it. 52,260 points coming from Raze.
Sweet Lord.
Jeez, man.
Oh my God.
D-Bozy, it ain't gonna be easy.
But D-Bozy's also just putting it all on the line.
He's
playing like a wild
aggressive,
boy.
like no
wild boy. And
no
we're
stop,
still
no
waiting.
limit.
Big Brain Poppy's got to come get it, man.
Big Brain Poppy is in the 3rd place with 49K. This is amazing.
I'm
mix.
surprised. In the mix.
I'm surprised by Daydream. He ended day 2 on the 1st place, and he started day 3 on the last. This is his final chance.
There's a moment. There's a moment. Anything can happen. That's what's beautiful about these live events. Anything can fucking happen. What is going on over there?
What?
Yo, what's
No!
that? You guys call that the leaderboard?
Back! Oh my God!
Challenger's ass. Me and my team. I didn't have
this
enough
guy
time, but next
doing?
time I'll come in and take that leaderboard by storm.
Yeah.
You just wait and see.
What
All right.
is
I guess
Teddy?
I'll have to make up.
Wait,
to the community
and
and bring
bring
some sort of value.
Guys, Teddy,
or some sort of surprise.
Wait,
I want back in.
Wait,
I don't wanna be left
Teddy.
out.
Whoa.
So,
I can hear. Hold on.
What
That's
do you
not
say,
your
dude?
voice.
What?
Is this a fake Teddy?
Wait a second.
all right. Yo, I guess I'll have to back
that's
up
not
to the
Teddy.
community and bring some sort of value.
Chat. What?
Or some sort of
No,
surprise.
This is all
I
off.
want back in.
He's
I don't
off
wanna be
script.
left
What the
out.
hell?
So,
What is this? Turn it on. That's not Teddy's voice.
That's some random ass shit. You're a
this is
fake ass
This
bloke.
is a fake Teddy.
You guys call that a leaderboard? I
Yeah?
can kick those challengers' ass.
What the
Me and
hell
my
is
team.
this? I think
didn't have
real
enough-
Teddy's watching the. I think the real Teddy's in the World Cup.
But wait, he's saying something. Ted, you were.
That's a fake voice.
You were.
I don't know,
What?
man.
You didn't like our leaderboard? I don't get it, man.
Yo, what's that? You guys call that a leaderboard? I can kick those challengers' ass.
Whoa,
Me and
what
my
is
team.
this?
I didn't have enough time, but next time I'll come in and take that
What is
leaderboard by
this?
storm.
All right, let's get this guy out of here. Let's
You
get this
just wait
fake Teddy
and
out of here.
see.
All right, get out of here, Ted. You
I've
can.
come to
I think
announce
the real Teddy. I think the real Teddy's at the World Cup.
So
That's
so,
what I think.
So Ted came to hate on our leaderboard, and it wasn't even Ted.
This
It
is
was
not
some lame ass,
Ted. I don't know who
cheap
said
ass
it.
copy
Yeah, I
of
think-
Ted.
Somebody's arcade dude's like, I hate Ted. Yeah, now we should. I don't even know.
I don't
we
even
told
think it
Teddy,
was
hey,
him.
look, this is a finals. You've been around with us from day one. You should
Toddy.
come hang out.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even really Ted. There was
That
like
wasn't
a weird
him.
voice.
That one, it's not like he sent this like random WhatsApp audio.
Yes.
And it wasn't. It was like on replay.
Yeah.
Fuck,
I
man.
don't know, man.
And on top of
Jesus
he was
Christ.
hating on our leaderboard, saying that him and his team could do much better. What's all that
Teddy's
about?
always doing some dumb shit. It's terrible.
I don't think we
I
should
bet
accept him
he's
back in
over
our
in
community,
Qatar
dude.
right now, and he just sent one of his boys dressed up as him. Really disgraceful. This is like one of the most important moments of our community, of our team. We're finally doing a tournament. He couldn't even show up, man. Disgraceful.
If Ted ever shows up again, he'd better bring something valuable, or we're not going to let him.
We're
back.
not letting him back. All right, let's keep on going, guys. Let's keep on going.
What else
What's
do we
going
have,
on?
Daniel?
I don't know. You're the one who organized this.
Oh, I am.
I have no idea what's
Okay.
going on.
Tomasetto, also known as the Pibechetto. What's next? All right. Production here is saying we've got more for you in the chat. What do we have? What do we have, chat? We're doubling down here on the saucy prizes, on the chimichanga.
More prizes?
We're layering it on thick, bien grueso. Sí, señor, señora.
Oh my God.
So there's more prizes for each and every one of you, and now
They
we
know it.
come
They know
with
it.
6 freaking 100 USDT for you in the chat. Go get it. You guys know
all
what you
right,
have
all
to
right,
do?
all right, all right. Do they know what they need to do?
Not yet.
All right, all right.
You don't know what to do yet. Let me read from my book. 600 USDT are up for grabs for the first person. And pay attention because it gets a little bit tricksy here.
All right, all right. Pay
The
attention.
first person to guess
All right.
the top 3 winners in order.
Oh,
I repeat.
I like this. I like
the
it. I
first
like it. I
person
like it.
to guess the top 3 winners in order will win 600 USDT.
Oh my God!
So
Look at that.
fire it up.
K-Dude is going with Daydreams, DeBozy, and Big Brain Poppy. That was fast. He didn't even think about that. He already had that one in the chamber. He already knows. DeBozy, Rays, Big Brain Poppy. You read some of those off, Juanito. Let's say Rays, Daydream, DeBozy. Okay, the chat. You guys didn't even have to think about these.
You guys are going
We're
crazy.
going to go for a break so you guys have some time to meditate on this, but clearly you guys don't need to. You guys already know who your top picks are, so you guys have a good time. We're going to take a tiny little break with our DJ, but we will be right back. Feel that, feel that, feel that.
Welcome back, everyone. In case you didn't recognize that second chance, that second chance, that's Daniel that's been able to give us some of those awesome highlights when we go back to the couch co-op with both him and Juanito. But right now, you're with myself, Hail Monkey Man, and Bass across from me. And, you guys have been fantastic on these 3 days, every day that we've been able to spend with you live on stream, as well as in the game and in the community, in the Discord, has been so cool, and we love the love that's been reciprocated back to us. And you know what? There's 3 players that will love even more of the love here today, Bass, if they can be able to secure themselves into those positions for a little bit of extra cash. This is a tough competition for one and all.
This has seemingly been a very tough competition for a couple of the players playing here, because so far we've only had 4 players that have been able to break the 40k barrier, which we said was going to be a requirement just to compete here today. In comparison, it's literally more of our players are dying early than our players are finishing out the rounds or even making it to that 3rd boss, with only 4 players, like we said, Raze D Bozy, Big Brain Poppy, and Adam G13 making it into that 48,000 echelon. The rest of them, the bottom 5 of Greedy, Kezia, Stabilo, Xborg, and Daydream, have all failed to even make it past that 31,000 mark. And again, when there's 6,500 USDT on the line for our top 3, plus more than a handful, an abundance of NFTs, and those very unique 1-for-1 NFTs of those helmets, you do not want to be falling behind and slacking on this final day. The good thing for them, Hale, one last shot. This is the final round of the competition here for Collider Craftsworks, the Moshpit Tournament, with over 30,000 USDT and NFTs in abundance. The value of what we've been giving away throughout this weekend, you do not want to fail to show up when all the chips are on the table. Hail, they get one last chance, but for a lot of these guys, it's a Hail Mary, and that's putting it very, very lightly.
If these guys are anything like me, they will take that table, they will flip it, and then they will try to take control of the chaos while everyone is trying to be able to go and get their chips, maybe get a vacuum cleaner and suck it all up for themselves. This is when you separate not just the goods from the great, but the great from the greatest. People that can be able to go through these, it's not quite a bracket, it's more just a direct or indirect competition, but be able to find that miraculous moment, that glorious moment when they win and really establish themselves as the best of their current competitive platform. That's what we will see today. These guys have been able to dissect, just diffuse, and direct themselves in the most promising and successful forms possible for this game. This has been a wonderful and unique experience for us, for the players, for this awesome team, and of course for you out there to see how hard and how high these guys can try to fly. Bass, that limit that they must reach at minimum is 49,000. That's just to get 3rd. I'm thinking that we're going to be seeing some mixture of right now our current top 3 in that 3. I don't think it's really hard to get to 50,000 plus. It really, really is. And it's around that 19th to 20th wave, which we saw, I think you said for the first time, is seeing the 21st wave. So I don't know. What's your big guess? Does Raze maintain themselves as king of the court?
I gotta think so at this point. That's the record for everything we have seen throughout the weekend. But here's the great thing. We don't have to theorize. We can get on into the action. Round number 3 officially underway in 3, 2, and 1. Let's get into the final round of the Moshpit Tournament. Again, thousands of USDT on the line, hundreds of NFTs given away throughout the weekend, and it all culminates here and now with a final 20-minute battle to separate the Army Grunts from the Marines. Who's gonna go home with a dead shot on every bullet, and who's heading home with nothing in their pocket? Raze, our frontrunner as it stands right now, has not missed the mark today. Even in their first round, they put up a good score, and in their second one, they broke the all-time record. And already, they're making quick work of wave number 1. Raze, like we said, the player to beat and the one to keep your eyes on.
They're going to be so efficient. They've proven themselves to do exactly that. As soon as they get a kill, they can just get their bullet time off of them. They're going to be working on that sniper rifle, and their shots really have not missed. They know how much damage each of these weapons can be able to do onto the early rounds, and so they've made use of the high lethality of these snipers, as well as the rockets, to make sure that they make use of it. And just trusting based on getting the hit marker that it's going to work, they put that rocket down range to take out the one heavy that comes down to the prototype range, boom, wave 2 is already in the book. So more than 1,600 points. We're in wave number 2. Remember, it's all of 20 minutes. It's glory in front of them. D Bozy and the gang want to try and continue to accelerate and elevate that peak of the mountain. Big Brain Poppy, surprisingly so, after we saw them be able to establish what was those early limits. They had 41,000 after the playoffs, and now they themselves have been trying to break that record up into the 50K plus. That's been tough, but they are still competing, and they're still trying for somewhere higher in that top 3.
Yeah, I do think that that's the big thing here is being able to just get yourself up into what is the position to win some money. And again, it's hard. Only a third of the competitors here today actually can guarantee themselves some USDT. The rest of them, again, not walking away empty-handed. They're still going to get themselves a decent amount of NFTs as well as all the glory that comes with getting to day number 3 here. But for certain of these players, it's more than just the glory that they want. They want to establish themselves that after a long weekend of showing up, they can do it even when the pressure is on. Because again, the last 2 days, there wasn't necessarily as much pressure as today. It was, can you make it into a select group of people and be able to qualify for this day? Today, no longer qualification. This is your final result. So, while in day 1, it's can you make top 15, and day 2, can you make top 8? Today, it doesn't matter where you finish unless it's in that top 3, securing yourself the prizes that we've been talking about all weekend long. The 4 players we've got on stream right now, only one of them is in a comfortable position to say that they should guarantee themselves that money, else Stabilo might not even get the chance. Bottom left, drained of his health and not quite able to finish off the boss. He might just need a shotgun shot or 2, as he does have it in hand, but he's got to be careful. Picks up a couple of pots, and he will survive. For a second there, El Stabilo playing with fire, but he's okay. He'll poke and prod at the fire pit there, get himself, put out the coals, and he's good to go into the next round.
I was looking at the top right whenever I was staring at Adam G13, who has made use of that shotgun strat so many times, and they had actually made an even better strat out of it because they took a crouch right behind a barrier that was just in the middle of the ring to stall the boss and then work around it to be able to put some of those bursts of the shotgun shells into his face and just get rid of that wave in a moment. It was Stabilo had to rely on the shotgun just to survive. They didn't have much of more than a single healing pot rotation, and then they finally did pick it up. Daydream. This is that player, though. This is the story. Being able to get more than 50,000 first. The first player to do it in the entirety of this Moshpit tournament, and they have fallen far short of that mark time and again through the first 2. They're already at 11,000 into wave number 7. They're about 400 or 500 short of both Adam G13 and El Stabilo when we saw them just a moment ago, but still being alive. You know that Daydream, they've got to be a little bit in their own heads. I talk about big competitions like this, especially with cash on the line and making sure that all your efforts mean something. Well, that starts to be just a little nagging voice. Same thing, Xborg Flowy, one of those players that came in as, 17th, 16th place after playoffs, and there's a lot that didn't think they would do it. Adam G13 will be our first eliminated player here in round number 3. That means their day will end no higher than 4th.
They are guaranteed to not be walking away with any of those $1,000+ USDT prizes at this point. And that's got hurt for them after coming so close, continually getting better throughout the weekend to finish off, just unable to even prove yourself in the 3rd round. It's going to take some pressure off the shoulders of our frontrunners, including Raze here, who have found themselves with 16,000 through our first 5 minutes. Raze, I feel like, despite the fact that this has probably been our most impressive player throughout not only today, but really the weekend in terms of consistency, I don't even think they're going to be satisfied with 52,000. El Stabilo will definitely not be satisfied if they go out here with only about 5 minutes gone and 13,000 on their point total. They need to be careful here. El Stabilo, as it stands right now, not even in a good position overall to walk away with a decent amount of NFTs in their pocket. They've got 7th place locked up, and that's with only about 21K. They haven't even been able to crest that 30,000 mark. El Stabilo, you want to stamp your mark on this weekend as a whole? You need to survive, and that's seemingly a much tougher task than in the previous 2 days here, Hale.
It's definitely a way tougher task. And of course, if you guys have a favorite player that you want to be able to support, make sure you put them in the chat. El Stabilo, I think there's, knife emojis? Stabs in the chat. Be able to support him as best you can. Kezia, though, this is one of our lone journeymen that's been able to represent that community, and they are still surviving. 15,000 points. They've been able to get up to 22K before. They sit about 6th place overall, but again, it doesn't really matter until we see them really be able to crest into the 40K range and really get to have them in the conversation more seriously. Just short of 16K is Xborg toward Floey, who's done no better than 8th place. Trying to be able to use that shotgun. No, it's just the quick pistol as well. And Daydream still alive. This is going to be my big wonder. Can they even be able to threaten top 3? Because they're lagging a bit behind. We're 6.5 minutes in, and they're just now just short of 18,000.
No, they're getting to 18K, though. That was a big 9th wave. They moved through it rather quickly. If they can move through the 10th wave in the same sort of efficiency, they might just be able to get themselves back into this one again. Daydream, one of the few players still utilizing this upper ring. The only other person that we've seen do this on a consistent basis is our #1 player right now in Ray. So it's not a bad strategy. You just got to be careful, because when push comes to shove and you're getting in your face, you got to make sure you can grab that health real quickly, and indeed they will. Big pot in hand, going to get them back up to a comfortable position in terms of their health. But Daydream, again, needs to be careful. They, out of all people, cannot afford to not only miss shots, but to miss rotate overall, because otherwise they're getting sent home without a solid score here in day number 3 at all. 2 early deaths in a row have left Daydream in a poor position here for our final day. The good thing for them, though, still plenty of time to recover. And again, even if they can't necessarily overdo their score they did yesterday at over 52,000 points, all they need to get into our top 3 is just 50K. And I say just 50K as if it's an easy task, but considering we're seeing more and more people make it into that 50K mark, it's seemingly a lot more doable than we ever thought.
It's amazing that we now we say that with some repetition. It was 30 that seemed to be that high marks. 41K seemed to be a tough margin to beat, and then all of a sudden 50 rears its head. It's crazy what these guys have been able to do by pure focus and being able to grind out this game. Not gonna have much luck in getting that big health pot, but it's gonna be Rays that now has the fireworks in front of them. Sugar Daddy in front of Rays. 22,000 points. They're looking to get to nearly 30K as long as they can be able to dodge all the splash damage because of this current line of sight. They're creating a lot of chip damage for the second boss to be able to do against themselves, and they'll be able to surpass into a wave number 13. One extra shot, they will go down. They do kill themselves, so that is good use of the mechanics of the pit. So just short of 30,000. Rays is more than half, 11 minutes and 40 seconds and now less, and they're on mark, on trek to be able to get an even higher score, more than 52K. El Stabilo's in a bad position, though, as they're at the same position. They're about 10,000 points short.
Now, they got to be careful here at this point. El Stabilo, again, not necessarily in the best position overall. They are sitting second to bottom as it stands right now. But the good thing for them is they're close to already overtaking their previous score. 21,000, the number to beat for them. And although 21,000 doesn't really mean much in this instance, it'll at least be good for them to be on track to beat that. Big Brain Poppy on track to beat almost everybody. 28,000, and they are only 9 minutes into this one, making more than quick work of all of these waves. And again, making quick work of the second boss. Something we saw Rays do to set that record on the day was drain that second boss of their health before we could even tune in. They seemingly did the exact same thing. 28,000 on wave 13. Big Brain Poppy making a big push here in this final round.
Yeah, this is Big Brain Poppy trying to showcase that they can keep up with the big stack of players. Adam G13 is the one that has fallen so far. Rays is trying to be able to keep alive. They're at 31,600. El Stabilo is keeping it up. And remember, they were all of, I think, 21K. This is their best round so far here in this third iteration. Kezia, the very same. They had 22K before, and we'll go now in a focus cam and over to them with more than half of this competition to go. There's a lot of players. If they can keep track with this, it's so much harder to do because there's more HP, there's more damage, there's more opponents that keep spawning wave after wave through those gates as they go into the pit, but they could all be able to break into the 50s if they just play for life, but they also have to play a little bit of risk to get that reward. Daydream keeping their dream alive simply by existing. This is far and beyond what they've been able to get through those first 2 rounds.
They do need to be careful, though. They're a little bit behind the normal pace that we're seeing here. 26,000 with over half the game gone is not nearly as much as some of the other competitors that we've seen so far on the night. So they do need to be careful. Feels like Daydream right now is so scared of dying to an early round that they're focusing on just keeping themselves alive, which is not a bad idea, but with thousands of dollars on the line, sometimes it's a little bit better to just take that risk rather than playing it safe, because safety doesn't seem like it's going to be the name of the game here today unless somebody else dies early here in this third round, because we've got a majority majority of our players still standing 10 minutes into this one, which is a huge difference in comparison to the last couple of rounds here, where we've seen a lot of players drop out early. Like we said, only 4 players were able to get past that 40,000 mark through the last couple of rounds. This one here and now, we've got a lot of players on track to pass not only 40K, but to potentially even put up that 15K number that has been so illustrious throughout the weekend. Daydream, though, still continuing to hit their shots. Even if they're taking their time with this one, Hale, when they do take a shot, when they do get into it, they are a deadly threat.
They are an absolute bulldozer with bullets attached. That is how well they've been able to just be a menace to all of these mobs as they spawn through. Heavy in front of D-Bozy, and they will be bulldozed down as well. 34,000 out of wave number 14, trying to drive, stay alive into that third boss, which is a massive amount of points. That's what's put so many players into that upper 40s and near 50 range. This one is the tough one because you go straight from Rad Kids into the Hypers, and you have to just absorb a massive amount of the melee of mobs that come through, and they're doing well to be able to kind of funnel them in, but they will drop down. On Kezia, they will fall. 29,895. They will not be able to break into that upper 3. It's been a good showing. They just weren't ever really able to find their footing early.
Yeah, unfortunately for Kezia, that will be the final result that they put up for the day. Daydream getting close to putting up his final result, and unfortunately for him, he's also running out of time. Rocket Launcher in hand does a decent amount of damage, and he is through our second boss, which is a big hurdle he needs to overtake. But again, 28,000, not nearly enough points, and unfortunately for them, they've wasted a lot of time, some valuable time that they cannot afford. They can still try and make up for this, but again, these later rounds get harder rather than easier, so making up those points in the early round is probably a lot more key than trying to do so in the later ones. In comparison, similar time, but over 8,000 points, I believe, higher than them is D-Bozy. 34,000, wave 15. Unfortunately, like we said, Daydream really falling behind the pack as it stands right now, and they can't afford that with only a single result to rely on.
I was laughing a little bit because it was Struggle Bug on Central with that Rad Kid Heavy that D-Bozy was trying to flaunt against. Adam G13, again, still at that 14,000 mark. They will not be able to get above that as well, but D-Bozy was doing a little bit of fancy footwork. I've had the same issues against some of those mobs as well, but Raze, 36,000, a little under 7 minutes to go. They're on track. They have to be able to get through this hyper wave, and then you go to that safety box. This is the triangle. We have been here before. This is definitely that trap setup, especially on this side of the spawn of the ring, that is just so good to make use of, because you just kind of funnel them from the sides, you work from your safety perimeter, you have a big barrier between yourself and the rest, and you have the ARs, respawn. You've got the healing pots that are one per side and one above you, so this is a great position for these players when they want to set up for that third boss round. Raze has basically made it into a clinic, and a lot of players are following that leadership role of what they've been able to do to get such a high score. But El Stabilo, they're trying to be able to track it down. They've got even less time and less points.
Yeah, they got to be careful at this point. El Stabilo has not been able to show up on the day so far here. They had an okay score earlier on, but 32,000, now their best score so far. And again, with so few players being able to crest that 30,000 mark, this now in this third round, with multiple of them doing so, is going to be that measuring stick we've been talking about all day, all weekend long. Again, what is the bar? What is the standard for these players to play up to? And right now, it's 50K, which is crazy to think about considering how long we've been waiting to see that 50K number. Didn't see it at all day one. Only saw single player make it in day 2. Here in day 3, we've got 2 players already doing it before the third round, and here in said third round, we're on track to potentially even see more. D-Bozy, though, might not be one of those players because he's getting pushed from every angle and struggling to find health. We'll take down one, gonna rotate to the next small pot. We'll pick it up and get to half health, but he's got to be careful because not only is he risking his health right now, he's wasting a lot of time waiting for these spawns with only 5 minutes to go and 36,000. As it stands right now, D-Bozy's in second place, but he's hunting for that first and needs 52,000 to do so. He is on edge, continually drained of his health, and like we said, wasting valuable time. He cannot afford to do so.
Yeah, this is, there's been some players that, or some people out in the chat that have called D-Bozy a tank, but this is a tank that's got a lot of bullet penetration holes in their plating, and so they're going to have to go back and reset for some of those extra healing pots. El Stabilo, 34,000 points. They've got 4.5 minutes and just a little bit more than that to go, and they're facing down a really tough wave. I believe this is either into the Hypers, or no, this is to the Rad Kids. So they're very tough. They are able to at least top themselves off, but that's not enough. They've got to be able to drive forward and get some of these quicker kills kills. The efficiency just isn't there, and El Stabilo is kind of struggling. They're going to the high canister box, really pushing to be able to get that bigger pot, so they will go for the smalls, and they're going to work their way now in through this wave 16. This is the hyper wave, and they're facing a rocket launcher in the face. They're trying to get as many bullets downrange as they can, and they're actually off to their timing when it comes to this rotation. They are stuck next to this corner when they need the health spawn to be there. Yes, you get a few extra kills, but with 4 minutes remaining, this is not the position that El Stabilo wants to be in if they want to crest into the top 3.
Oh, he's playing a recovery position right now. Pretty much every move he's making is just to grab that health while not focusing on trying to drain the enemies. And the issue is when you're on your back heel, you kind of stay there for a while, stumbling backwards as El Stabilo. Finally, they do find a way to at least plant their foot for a moment and get back into the game. But considering they've wasted now about 2 minutes without any progress, they're also probably not going to get any points from this round either. Wave 16 down to only about 1,000 points remaining. Similarly, though, same thing for Daydream here. He's in a more comfortable position, but he's only got 3 minutes to try and crest not only that 40,000 mark, but that 50,000 that we said has been so difficult for players to cross so far. Daydream, the first player all weekend to break that 50,000 mark, but here in day 3, like we said, struggling to break even 40. They have completed wave 16, but they have 2 more waves that they definitely need to get through. If you can't get past that third boss, you're not walking away with good prizing.
This has got to feel like an on-the-day accomplishment, but not a personal accomplishment if you are Daydream. dBozy, though, is trying to just continuously extend their top, and they will be able to get through wave number 18. 47,000 points for dBozy. They've got 3 minutes. That's actually a very competitive amount of time, Bass, for dBozy to maybe compete and get to that first-place position. That's a lot of ground that was gained. Big Brain Poppy, 50,000 points, though, and more than 2.5 minutes. Big Brain Poppy is actually in a position now in wave number 20. They could get through this one, wave 21, and be able to threaten Raze's position. Big Brain, the man that was so good during the playoffs, is trying to be able to threaten the top of the stack and regain that crown. Daydream is steps, maybe even yards behind, and they're trying to take on the Chosen as soon as they're spawning.
And Big Brain Poppy now our third contestant to make it into that 15,000 echelon that we have talked about all day long. They have almost guaranteed themselves a top 3 position, considering the other competition around them right now struggling to be able to make it safely through these couple final rounds and are wasting valuable time trying to do so. Like we said, dBozy, rough position here, definitely has a chance. El Stabilo, not going to have one at all. They will finish off at 37,000. They make it far into the competition, but the furthest they will get is 5th place at maximum. With Daydream still in this one, he's got a chance to actually even pass him and maybe pop into that top 4. dBozy, like we said, guarantees themselves 2nd place at minimum right now, unless we see an overtaking out of Big Brain Poppy, but they can prevent that all on their own hand. If they're able to finish off this round and continue on through round 20, they could not only pop up this score, but overtake their best score of the day as well. dBozy, one more to finish off the wave, and we'll get to 49K. They've only got just over a minute to go. They need a huge wave here, Hale.
They need a massive wave, and they need it quickly. Big Brain Poppy is at 52,550. That puts them, what? Just all of 900 points short of Raze. They gotta be able to keep with it. They're on track. They have 1 minute to go. Big Brain Poppy aiming for the top of the stack. They've gone to the shotgun, and they're gonna try and get into the face of all of these mobs as soon as they are spawning. You see them just beyond the gate. They put a lot of damage downfield, and now they're running straight at them. This is the Rad Kids wave here in number 21. That is a bunch of bruisers, and you get the sword swinging at your back. Big Brain Poppy, his back's against the wall, but his heart is in the sky. He's trying to be able to make it go, and he wants to fly. Oh, but dBozy, they will be ended. That's 49K in their 3rd try. They will maintain 51,000 points. Wave 21 completed. 55,000 points for Big Brain Poppy. dBozy won with 49K and trying to maybe even get to 60K. Big Brain Poppy may have just done enough to be able to get 1st place in this Moshpit tournament, but Raze is still alive. 56,000. He's dancing now. He's emoting. King of the court. He may maintain. He cannot do another wave. Big Brain Poppy, with only seconds left, is gonna fall about 400 short. He will die trying, but it's Raze that is flying. Oh my goodness. Number 1, Raze will end and win.
Just when you thought that 55K was going to be the number to beat with mere seconds to go, Raze will pop off and do it again. Set the record round 1, set the record round 2. Let's do it round 3 as well. 56,000, your final top score of the entire weekend here for the Moshpit Tournament. And as a result, Raze getting to not only round 20 or wave 22, but finishing out their time with the best score we have seen all weekend. Hell, I think we know what that means. Rays walking away with 4,000 USDT in their pocket, 10 NFTs, and that golden helmet. They have won it, and we're not the only people with a reaction. We gotta bring back to Johnny and Danny. I have to imagine they gotta be going apoplectic, as we have seen the best performance from a player all weekend.
Danny, Johnny, party with us. How's it going? Look at them. They're going nuts. They're going absolutely ham. Oh, my God.
That was wild. And the dance right at the end. That was, oh, man. I'm glad we were able to get those emotes in. I don't know how many people knew those things were in there, but that was just a beautiful thing right at the end, Rays, right? Yeah.
Wow. Just absurd.
Johnny won the bet, so he's happy, man.
Oh my God, that was intense,
Lord.
man. That was intense. Those final 60 seconds.
We're out here like a bunch of degens betting on. Oh, you guys are.
Wow.
All right. So should we announce the winners
guys.
officially?
It's that
Just
moment.
Bring it in with the music.
It's that
time.
moment.
Yeah.
All right. Who's gonna? You scream out the winner, and I'll do the thing. Everyone screams out the winner, and I'll lay it up. Ready with the DJ? Ready? And for the first Moshpit Tournament, the winner is Rays, you fucking did it. You savage. You champion. You beautiful human.
Pedazo de crack. Your champion is
Oh, my God.
Okay, guys, calm down. All right.
Dude, he shot the thing in my nuts, man.
All right, guys. That was intense. Did you guys see that coming?
Bananas.
No, not even close.
Oh
No,
my
like
God.
again,
Bananas.
we said 50,000 was going to be the number to get you into, like a good position today. I did not think that someone putting up 51,000 would only get them third place. The way this came down to two players vying to try and close out Wave 21, which, by the way, no one had done up until today, be able to get past Wave 20. Two of them making it to Wave 22, and that's how this finishes off. I couldn't have seen this 6 ways to Sunday. Never in my imagination.
Yeah, this one was wild. This one was so cool to see, and just to see them just try as hard as they can. D Bozy as well. Shout out for making the best use of that.
Look at that. Look at
life
that
jacket.
Look at those. Look at that.
I'm the rear, but
man.
Big Brain Poppy and Rays.
That
what
last
a
moment.
rivalry that's already been created. That's so
100%.
cool.
That last
I was
moment,
wondering- I was
Ray's Big
wondering
Brain
if-
Poppy was like epic.
I was wondering if Big Green Poppy was kind of taking it easy the first 2 days to make everyone kind of count him out and then come in with everything at the end. I'm not really sure. It'd be fun. I wonder if we could get some of these gentlemen on the line and have an interview or something. But that was amazing,
I don't know.
guys.
I think they're very excited with their premios, and I don't know if they're gonna make it. That last emote.
Yeah.
That Rays threw in.
That was just
for
too
that
much.
final moment
Yeah,
where the
yeah,
rest,
yeah.
where everything else, where the world was blowing up, and this one man was dancing in the middle of the fire. That was epic. that was a
thing
moment
of beauty.
I'm gonna
He knew.
remember for a minute.
He
knew
knew
he
right
had
there
it.
and
He
then,
knew he-
in
he
that
knew he
exact
had it.
moment, he had it in the bag.
Oh,
dancing.
baby.
crazy.
That's what we're here for.
Dancing on the
guys.
grave of his opponents, straight up.
Crazy. This has been a hell of a tournament.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy day.
I've got to tell you, this has been a lot better than I expected. This is the first time we do something like this. We had no idea if any of this was gonna work.
I had no idea how the last day was gonna feel, but it was intense.
Yeah. I hope the chat. How does the chat feel about the last day? That was a sweet final, wasn't it?
It better be hype.
Yeah.
Honestly,
All right,
it's crazy.
Juanito. So
the
what?
chat, the community has been so cool.
Yeah. They've been active out there. All right. So is this it? Is this when we say
Seems
goodbye?
like it's like I'm just.
I feel like I'm
getting
ready
warmed
for
up.
it. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I'm up to a round.
Another round. Try again.
another round.
No winner yet.
It's
We
like
keep going.
five
Fourth
minutes.
round. Fourth round.
Going.
Yeah,
Guys, come Monday. Let's do
they're
another
just-
day. The main event has a bonus
barely
track.
getting
A
started.
bonus track.
All right,
Jeez,
guys.
Amazing.
Well, I think it's time to say bye to these two wonderful gentlemen that have just been killing it these last 3 days. You guys were a huge part of this event. You guys really elevated everything that we've been doing. You guys, you're just warrior poets that just, like when you're seeing the massacre and then you're hearing it described in your ears. It's such a beautiful thing. Anyways, guys, please chat. Huge round of applause. 1-1-1 type 1 for Hell Monkey, type 1 for Bass. Thank you guys so much for coming on, for giving it this energy, this love, this precision. You guys killed
love,
it. Thank
guys.
you so much. Guys, I hope we get to do this soon. We hope we get to work together again very soon. Any last words before you guys leave?
You know, this was such a unique opportunity. You guys reached out to me. I had no idea what this was. I got to learn so much about your awesome studio, your game, your community, and all the things that you have in front of you. And it was a privilege to be able to do this, as well as to highlight some kick-ass players. You guys have been a thrill ride for me this entire time, and I couldn't ask for more. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm glad I got to be able to speak for your game. This is so cool.
100%. Pretty much echoing all the same sentiments that Hale had. I mean, again, Hale was the first person who sort of introduced this project to me. You guys reached out. I learned a lot more about it. And the very first thing I said, and I will stick by this statement even till this exact moment, this is how NFTs should be done. This is exactly how it should be. With a game like this, somewhere where you can physically see it, be able to utilize it, be able to play with it, and be able to really see it. This is everything I could have hoped for out of a project like this. You guys have nailed this one front to back, and I cannot thank you enough. What I will say is also one other thing. While I've got the platform here, follow me on Twitter. Listen, I got to shout myself out when I got a chance.
Yes.
I'm a shill. I know that. I got to do it. Listen, at least
them on
once.
Twitter.
guys.
Yes, sirree. Follow these gentlemen on Twitter right now.
Yes, sir. People in the chat, shout out our love to Hale, to Bass. They killed it, guys. We couldn't have done this without you. Everything you brought, the professionalism, the excitement, the words was amazing. We're very excited for what happened today, yesterday, and the day before, and we're looking forward to everything we're going to keep doing together. Guys, big hug, lots of love. Hasta la vista, baby. Talk soon.
Going to a
Love you
break.
guys.
Let's bring that break.
We'll be right back, chat.
in. We're gonna take a little time out.
Oh, great stuff, man.
Dude.
You know what? I can't hear my. Hold on, I think I
How you feeling, Daniel?
can.
How was that?
I was able to go and catch my breath.
How was that for a grand finale? Did you see that
Oh,
coming?
sweet baby Jesus!
Did you see that climax?
I couldn't have asked for more. When you put something on like this together, this is the first time we ever do something like this, and I think that's kind of been the theme for the year. We've done a lot of things for the first time this year, and going into this, we put everything on the line the same way these players have. We put it all on the line, and we have no idea if it's going to be a success, if it's going to be a failure. First time working on our own game, first time putting on a tournament, first time doing a stream at this scale. So you have no idea what's going to happen coming into this, but time and time again, fortune favors the brave, favored the players who came in, the players gave it their all. I'm just happy everything's working out, and I couldn't have asked for more from a stream, from our team, for the players. I mean, this is kind of those moments where you feel a lot of gratitude, a little emotional,
A lot
a little
of
bit
excitement.
hyped up.
It's
Been a beautiful couple of days.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've also pushed ourselves to not only to get this game out, but also to reach out to new communities. We've made a lot of new friends. We've been very privileged to be supported by just great people in the space. You guys know who they are. You guys know what projects they come from. And we want to shout them out as well, because it's a lot thanks to them that we've been able to bring this together to you guys. We've been working hard, but at the end of the day, it's not just what you do, it's who you do it with that makes it unique, that makes it meaningful. And we're privileged not only to have been building and getting all this together with great people as a team, but also to be able to deliver this experience to you with great partners. And that's what we want to do now. We just want to shout them out, recognize them. You guys, again,
In the chat right there, we can start off with TTOO and
shout
NFA.
out to all our
been
communities, guys.
Those guys have been with us. They've been really repping hard.
Yes, sirree. You guys know who they are. So thank you, guys. We want to first and foremost want to start off by thanking all the players, everyone who's been part of this tournament, not only on this 25 leaderboard, but everyone who gave it a shot, who came in to play the game for the first time. Some people were putting PCs together. They were just jumping in on the action to see what we had made, to experience the game, and hey, maybe even get a shot at the tournament. So thank everyone. Thank all you players, everyone who made it to the 25 tops.
You guys played way more than what we were expecting, which was huge.
The engagement was over the top. We were extremely surprised. So thank all of you players, and also all of you challengers, you who are on this 25 list, you who made it from day 1 to day 2, from day 2 to day 3, and obviously the winners. We know it wasn't easy. We know it was a huge commitment of time, of effort.
The
So
quality
thank you,
of the
guys.
players as well, right? Like the skill level of the players, I was really impressed. I was really impressed. It was again, like I think at every level, this was a lot more than what we were expecting. And I think you guys surprised us, and you guys, again, the chat saying the players brought their A game. They really did, and you guys made this tournament what it is. You guys made it exciting, thrilling. Every single day, you guys brought the fun, the chat as well. So let's officially start,
Shout outs to everyone, and especially for all of you who made it to day 1. Big Brain Poppy, he took the first place in all 7 days of the playoffs. That's definitely something to be
Why don't we go? Yeah, let's
celebrated.
do that. Let's do that. Player
one
by
by
player.
one. All right, Big Brain Poppy.
All right.
Production. We've got info and everything that our players have brought to the table. He took the first place in all 7 days of the playoffs. And we all know how he ended up on this one. So shout out to Big Brain Poppy. He definitely raised the bar and brought this competition to a whole new level. Raze, we all know who he is. He ended up as number 1. He took first place on day 1 and second place on day 2. So he was obviously all the time sending out a clear message of what he came to do. And in the end, he was able to walk away with the number 1 podium. Greedy for win. He won the community life jacket from day 1 and came in 4th place on day 2. So thank you, Greedy for win. You were brought up by the community, and you also gave it your all. Yeah, you brought the action. Kezia, you're coming from the Journey community from day 1, not only just jumping in the game and getting excited with everything we were doing, but also shouting us out on Twitter, bringing engagement to all of our communities. So not only did you bring your A game to this tournament, but you also were able to spread the love and the excitement of everything we're building here today. Daydream, top 1 in day 2 of competition. You're
guys
from
know
Collider
the man,
Crafters community, and it's been amazing to just vibe with you and to get to know you from the very beginning of our project, and then to see you coming up to the very top, towards the very end of this grand finale of this final day of competition. Debozy,
You already know who Debozy is. Debozy, I'm glad you were able to participate this last day. That was amazing. You killed it, man.
yeah, man. Adam G, consistently getting through all days. Thank you for the energy. Thank you for the push. Thank you for the action. El Stabilo, top 3 in day 2, ended 11th in the playoffs, and is from the TTOO community. So shout out to you, El Stabilo. You had the gang backing you up. A lot of support, and it's just amazing to have someone from the TTOO taking it, bringing his A game, and taking it to the very top, all the way to the end. Amazing to have you. Xborg Flowy, he is constantly getting through the days and ended up 16th place in the playoffs. So Xborg, you also brought your A game. It was amazing to have you here. Looking forward to see all these fine players on our next Moshpit tournament.
Exactly right. So many
Yes,
great
senor.
players.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
guys so much for coming in, bringing the A game, for participating. And one big thing for me was the fact that we were able to bring other communities to actually compete together. I think there's a lot we can do here. I think that's a big part of what Web3 has to offer, is that there's already these built communities, people who fuck with each other. They enjoy, they've got their culture, they've got their thing, they've got their gang. If we can manage to bring all this together, we can put on some insane tournaments next year, and we're definitely going to be going in that direction, guys. So hold on, we might have some new news very soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But all right. So what's next?
Tomasetto. Guys, Moshpit partners, again, you guys know who they are. We're extremely privileged to have had the support of all these fine communities, of these fine projects who believed in what we were doing when it was only a vision, just an idea, supported what we set out to do, and not only backed us up as a project, but also we're consistently shouting out what we were doing on Twitter, on socials,
Showing the love, showing the
the
support.
love, and basically making this an exciting and meaningful tournament as well. So thank you, Journey. Thank you, Neo Tokyo. Thank you, CyberKongs, Project Ortega, TTOO, NFA, Byte, Affinity Collective, Degenheim, AlphaBot, Crypto Walkers, Go Art, and Continent. We appreciate every one of you and the people behind this project, everyone who took the time and interest to know more about us, to back us up, to support us, and to be part of this amazing tournament altogether. We appreciate you, and thank you for being a part of this.
Yeah, this is only the beginning.
Yes, sirree. Vamos, Tomasetto.
All right.
And next,
so what's going on now?
we want to shout out our Collider Craftworks community.
You guys, without you guys, none of this would be possible. You guys are the ones who make this possible. You guys are in the game, the Hall of Fame, the Factions at War. You guys remember Factions at War? You guys are in the mosh pit. You guys are there. Thank you so much for having our back from day one. We're just getting warmed up, guys. It's been an amazing year. If you guys think we brought our A game this year, you have no idea what's coming for the next. So thank you guys so much.
Huge love, huge shout out to everyone in our community. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for believing in us. And thank you for being a part of this journey from Desde el Día Uno. Huge love for each and every one of you. And last but not least, we want to shout out
The team.
the Collider Craftworks team. There are many names behind this, many departments, many people who have made this possible. And
They say it takes a village to raise the child. It definitely took the village to put on the stream. Took a couple villages.
and a couple of villagers
Yeah.
to get behind this as well.
Yeah, that first day was intense with the rain and the storm and Argentina playing the finals. It was a crazy
That was
day,
crazy.
but
That was
it all
bananas.
came together. Type 1 in the chat if you guys think this was a good stream, if it was smooth, technically on point. If you guys think that this was a good stream, these fine people here are the ones that made it possible. Chris from IT. Who else? Juanito.
Chris, Boro, Theo. We've got this. One of our programmers is called. His last name is actually Legend.
He's
Can you guys
Theo
believe
Legend.
That?
He's
Come
one
here,
of the
Theo Legend. He's one of our judges. He's one of our
judges.
devs.
But yeah.
Look at this. Look at this
Look at
beast of a
look at
man.
this.
Look at
This guy
fine
right
Jack.
here is one of the devs that have been working on this game. Ahora para que puedas escuchar ahí.
All right, Theo.
Theo's one of the guys who've been working on this game. He's been killing it. He's been working around the clock to bring this game to you guys. When we got the feedback from you guys about what could be done better, he was on it. He's been tweaking stuff over the last couple of weeks right before the tournament. So big round of applause for Theo. Type 1 in the chat. Send Theo love. There we go. Well, you guys know Luigi. You guys saw Luigi from game design yesterday.
There's a lot of names out there.
There's a lot.
Pascual, Rocio. A lot of people have been on the art side. The whole team of community, the communications teams. Nacho, Tomasetto, the Pibechetto, El Ingeniero Matty G. There's a huge team behind all of this, behind all the different aspects.
Fer, our DJ
that have made this day possible in this moment, this climax, this build-up. And we want to recognize each and every one of them on the team who have made this possible. Huge love, huge respect for each and every one of you. Tomasetto, we've got something more, guys.
Before we close the stream, we have one last announcement to make.
Which is...
Teddy didn't make the picture. Well,
you guys want to know?
Do you guys want to know? Somebody's
end,
asking why Teddy's not in the picture, because Teddy is just more trouble than he's worth. I've got to tell you.
There's one more thing, guys. Not only did our players, our challengers win, but you in the audience also took part in the loot. Lo and behold, here today we have the audience winners, the prize winners for today's audience. And they are, for 200 USDT, we're proud to present El Mopri. Go, Mopri!
Mopri, one of our OGs.
Yeah, one of our OGs. He's also a neighbor. He keeps our hearts content on the weekend with good quality beer, with amazing burgers. He's got one of the better bars here in Palermo, Hollywood. Definitely worth a visit. A shout out to Shami2905 who won 400 USDT. We're gonna skip the last one because we've got a sorpresa for you all. Noxy with 50. Bowie, go Bowie! You won an extra 50.
One of our OGs,
amazing.
one of our mega whales.
A whale, an OG. He was a mod, an early supporter.
Early supporter, exactly.
Amazing. Boozdone, also an OG, an early supporter of our community. Rami, you're on a killing streak. I don't think you've missed one day without a surprise. Shout out for
Rami
you.
made the bag.
Yeah, and XTPCY, again, congratulations for you too. Guys, who's taking the bacon? Who's winning the 600 USDT? Do we know? I don't think so. Will we find out? Maybe. I have a feeling someone's coming to bring the news. And with you, guys. Who is that? Who's that? Oh my God. What is that? What is that? Oh boy. Oh.
Hey.
Hey, culiao. Hey, 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 All right. Give me that. Hey, go, give us the news. Hey.
It looks like Teddy wants to keep the prize.
Yo, I got it.
Hey, whoa. All right, guys. Teddy.
All right.
Teddy. All right. He did it. Go Argentina, Teddy. Go.
Okay.
Oh, Teddy. All right.
Chat.
The winner.
Who's ready?
Right.
Chat, go type 1. Who's ready to find out?
And the winner from our chat for the 600 USDT is...
You guys ready?
Are you guys ready?
Do
you guys have this?
3,
2,
1. The winner is D-Jax.
D-Jax! Woo! Go D-Jax! Whoa! Oh my God, D-Jax fucking did it! Woo! No. Yeah, go D-Jax! All right, guys, I think production got a little excited. I got one of these things straight in my mouth.
Anything.
Teddy, sit down there with Juanito. There you go. Oh my God, Teddy got it all in the face.
Oh, shit.
Holy moly!
Hey, those are like the flag's colors. He's looking
Oh
very
my
Argentinian.
God, yeah.
Celeste y blanca y un poquito de amarillo.
Oh my
¿Cómo
God,
estamos?
Juanito.
All right.
We're not in good conditions.
It's a situation I think you feel sort of familiar with.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I was just about
I'm
to
a little
say
bit
that. I was just about to
uncomfortable.
say.
This is another new experience for me. It doesn't seem
Yeah, I
that
was
same
about
way
to
for
say,
you.
you must feel comfortable in this kind of a situation, Juanito.
Production, I think
All right,
it's over and out
yeah,
for us.
Yeah, it's over and out, guys. I think this is a wrap. Thank you
is all
guys
for
so much
today.
for hanging with us. You guys are the fucking best. We wouldn't be here without you guys. Teddy, you're the best. It's good to see you. We hate you. We love you. Sometimes we want to fucking kick you in the ass, but you're a friend, my friend, and that's all we can ask for, guys. I hope everyone has a wonderful, marvelous, warm Christmas. I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday. Give love, give hugs, appreciate life. We're alive. We're here today. We have so much to be thankful for. It's a beautiful life. In the good times and the bad times, we can take what life brings and make the best out of it. And I just hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas. Everyone has a beautiful time with their friends, with their loved ones. Thank you so much for supporting us. And yeah, that's it, guys. It's been a great year. And
looking forward to many more.
yeah, looking forward to many more. And I hope everyone just has a great holidays. And that's it. Collider out. See you guys.
My name's Juanito. This fine man is Danielito. Talk soon, amigos.
See you soon.
Hasta la
Adios.
vista,
Adios.
baby.
Adios.
Chimichanga!